On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, the solid movie is out. It happened. We're going to tell you about it. Also, 60 million downloads. Happened. We're going to tell you about it. Also, President's Day is back, baby.
Oh.
We'll tell you about that as it rains state courts down upon us. Hello. Hi. I am one of your hosts. I am not a doctor, Omega. With me, as always, is he a doctor? I don't know. Lucky.
Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Time Continues to Be Bullshit. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EM versions of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should go watch a hecking movie.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that later, obviously. Not right away. So, you have time to pull up the film and watch it while the show plays.
Can we
we'll
actually
see if
draw it out to
our
an hour and a half?
I mean, I bet we can. We got a mailbag, and we do actually have some news to talk about. We can make this last long enough for the runtime of the movie. It's, like an hour and 34 minutes? Counting credits? We could probably swing that. Hey, yeah, so, spoilers for the show. We both already watched it.
Yeah.
I know some people were curious, would we, switch shows or stop down for it? And I'm like, nah, we'll just watch it. I'm quite glad that Lucky was able to get on his work internet and watch the movie, so we don't have to wait extra time. And also because if Lucky watched it right when he got home, I don't know if Lucky would be okay to record the show right away afterward.
No, it's a little bit of floor. It's a little bit of floor.
Yeah, no, because I wasn't really okay after all that. So yeah, we'll talk about that later. You have plenty of time to catch up, or don't. I don't know. I don't run your life, but we'll let that settle in later so people can get in with their spoilers and stuff, and we'll amuse you with the news. But first, it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Record Server for Road Trips.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Record Server for Pro Tips. So, this is just a reminder about main interludes, because I'm pretty sure the free segment is almost over. Soon it shall end. But before it does that, I would like to remind you that they're free during the initial campaign, whenever they're actually launched. So keep this in mind with Merry Christmas Midworld now, and then later when they're going to do this with CCC, and not too far away, all things considered, time and space being what they are. And after that, you can spend rare prisms to unlock them, and also get your extra copies of the welfare if you didn't get all of them the first time around. So even if you missed the content now, you can still get it back later, Prison Tower style, obviously. And we do now know that you will eventually be refunded those rare prisms, so eventually, it's free. There's no reason not to do it. If you missed it now, pick it up in the rare prism shop when you can. Get to it later. You'll be fine. It's cool. It's neat. Sorry, I had to pause there to sneeze. Sneeze on all my bones. Okay. Alright, we're back though. We're fine. Doing fine.
You survived.
Yeah. Well, you guys can't survive without your bones? Scrubs. We will move on from there. We have no records today. Currently, we are getting a busy signal from the throne. I guess something's happening right now. Just hear that busy tone. Boop, boop, boop. But we do have another thing.
And that thing is Not All the World's Evil and damn close, and it is entirely me today. I got two. That's how bad a week I'm having. I got two. And the first one starts off with bad math. Very bad math. So
I took a calculated risk, but man, I'm bad at math.
Yes, I am. So with the Valentine's event is over. It is done with. And as people know, I have a lot of servants. I do. I roll way too much. I spend way too much on this damn game. And so with the fact of me wanting to try and get all the servants chacos, I, did some math, calculated, chacos and whatnot, how many I needed, how many points I would need to get. So I'd be able to get them all. And unfortunately, I miscalculated. I don't know I don't know if I forgot to carry a 1 somewhere or something, but I miscalculated and I was actually off by one drop. No, I can't, how do I want to say, by basically one set of chocos, because, you usually get 4 or 5 and whatnot.
Yeah, it's 3, I think, per node.
I think it eventually goes up to times 4, times 3. Either way, the thing is I did everything and it came out to, I had 3 servants left and I had, the deadline I passed. I couldn't get it anymore. So I was just like, no! This disappointed me greatly. It actually disappointed me so much that I actually went and deleted all the chocolates I had gotten. Well, I take that back. I kept my top 10, which is, basically all the Sakura faces and my Talamos. But I was like, no, I can't bear the shame. And got rid of the rest. And next year I will just do better. And actually get it all this time.
I just stuffed all my chocolates into my copy of Prisma Cosmos, which is level 90 now. I'm so close to level 100.
So close, but
When those master missions come out, that Sand Quartz will be mine.
now the second thing is actually something that actually happens to me a lot more often. Is just has the unfortunate timing have happened when it definitely shouldn't. And that yesterday, after me working very hard at a job, making much money, living my best life, I came home a little bit more tired than usual. And in my infinite wisdom and grace, decided I would lie down for a bit, close my eyes, and, get up later, a little rested.
12
I laid down
hours later.
It was not 12 hours, but I lay down around 4:30, 5 o'clock. I did not wake up until 9. And I was just and this is one of those moments of you just have that moment of realization that everything in this day has completely fucked up. I missed, I wasn't able to get on Final Fantasy to play with my friends. I missed my FGO login streak. That's completely bungled up. This is completely bungled up because this is the one thing I really do not like about this game is that these time-limited events that have login bonuses are consecutive logins. They're not cumulative logins.
Yeah, which is always a shame because most of them give you a couple extra days to start it, but once you start it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's not hard to log in every day, technically. You just need your phone to work and need to remember to do it within a 12, 24, some number of hour period. Fucking, I don't know, man, time. But you still gotta remember to do it at the appropriate times, and not everybody's gonna have all the free time they need in their time to do their time thing.
No.
Coin time.
I'm going, yeah, so it is this one of these, it's the same with the daily, the login thing. You can go 6 days, be almost to that fucking ticket, but oops, you missed that one and you're all the way back to the beginning. I feel that super disrespects me. I feel super disrespected about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if it's because FGO is older. Almost every gacha game I know switches to a monthly schedule now, and then if you miss the last you can miss any number of days in the month. It's just you don't get those last couple days then.
Yeah,
I do know it's got to be soon because I feel like I've been seeing it in JP for a while, where million downloads events either have separate rewards for total logins or they switch to pure cumulative. But we're obviously still not there because there's only one set.
Yeah, no. So not even a couple days into it, I broke my streak, and I'm just well, I'm getting absolutely nothing. Thanks.
That's a good philosophical question. What's worse, to break your streak early and then just be well, this all sucks, or to break your streak right at the end before you get the really good shit?
I would say right at the end, because this is one of the things I want to talk about, me fucking up the Valentines. If I had fucked up super early and I only got half the chocos I needed, I wouldn't feel as bad because that means I had done something utterly fundamentally wrong with this, and I needed to I was wrong from the beginning,
Yeah, your plan was doomed from the start.
Yeah, but the closer you get to some people will be oh, you're so close, but that infuriates me even more because the closer you get to the closer you are to succeeding, but then you fail. That means it could literally be any number of things that was just that little bit of tipping point that just made sure that you didn't get it. It's chaos theory and whatnot. And I despise having my plans ruined by influences of other things. In the case of the Valentine's Choco, is literally that thing of if I had just farmed a couple more times, but then
you only needed 1 or 2 more point drops to get the last couple.
The last couple, so it could have been if I had maybe got on 15 minutes earlier, if I hadn't been distracted by this one thing, if I hadn't done this or that, or if this had happened or that hadn't happened,
or if you'd gotten 4 more event drops and just got your points earlier.
Yeah, it's when I fail by a large degree, that to me is okay, I need a lesson and I need to do this better next time. When I fail by a small degree, that just means that I genuinely actually feel I just got fucked over by something. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me.
No, I understand. Close only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades, everybody. I've also heard it that way about regrets, but literally, as Sean Spencer would say, I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
God, Psych is so good. Anyway, we're not here to do a Psych podcast.
We can do that tomorrow.
No.
We can do it tomorrow.
We have so much to talk about tomorrow. I completely understand, if you haven't done all the things you wanted to do this week, Lucky. This week is a week.
Yeah, it is.
Things are happening. Stuff is going on. So we'll talk about that more on WhatsApp. Okay, so 20 million. So that's the next download event, because we're not as many downloads. But this one was 19. So next download, there'll be both separate consecutive and cumulative login rewards. So not the same rewards, but at least different rewards.
At least I'll be getting something if it breaks. Because that's the thing, once you, right now that I've brought my login streak, it doesn't fucking matter. I get nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of counterproductive. I know you yelled about this in chat earlier with some people because some other people had broken their login streak recently. Talking about how you feel like FGO doesn't respect your time sometimes, and it's kind of like, yeah, now that I think about it, it is kind of like counterproductive, right? Like once you've broken your streak, like who gives a fuck, right? Like it's broken. I'm not going to get it back. You don't reset me the day, so there's no point in being as like concentrated with it, you know?
Yeah. Like, for me, basically, now, like, I don't have to worry about Merry Christmas from the Underworld, and I don't have to worry about my login streak, and like I said, my streak's broken. I have no reason to log into FGO right now. I really don't.
You still get free Saint Quartz out of Merry Christmas, but you can always, if you ever have a dead week, you can always buy it with Rare Prisms and get the Saint Quartz and the summon tickets later. Literally free, eventually. Future free.
So, yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I'm just like, I have thoughts and I have feelings.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's probably the overall system is probably too ingrained in the way the game is set up for them to like completely unfuckle it now. But it is one of those things that's definitely like a little like, yeah, that doesn't really do what you want it to do, does it? Like obviously it has a heavy incentive for you to log in every day, but once you break it, then it's like, what does it matter? Mm-hmm. Hey, Lucky, remember how you asked if we could make the show go on for an hour and a half? That was 12 minutes.
Hey.
My Not All the World's Evil is, I forgot to do the patron intro right at the start, so now it's coming in after, 10 minutes. So I would like to remind everybody the episode is brought to you by our beautiful patrons, which includes but is not limited to Adam Harbaugh, Comics, Aki America 10, Black G, Carlos Dragon, Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, Jonathan Sandel, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Region Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, Sorry, 23, and Varen the Crow. If you like what we do, want to see more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies. At a high enough level, you could listen to this whole thing unedited and be like, oh my god. Listen live with us. But, yeah. Okay. Then let us continue on down the news train, the business train.
Choo-choo.
I'll take those free mana prisms. My mana prism economy has never really recovered. I said neat, by the way, because Lucky just posted the finished thumbnail. I'm going to go save it. But alrighty. The next thing we ask is, did you finish your master missions? Probably. Excuse me. They are but simple this week. You need to defeat 3 evil servants, chaotic servants, and good servants. Those are all 3 separate master missions. You need to get 4 gems or statues of any type via drops, and then complete 5 quests and complete 10 quests. So, having done all of the story quests for Merry Christmas from the Underworld, that will not take care of it, but it will take care of a few of them. The rest you can probably wrap up with dailies or somewhere in Fuyuki. I believe Shadow Servants still count their alignments, so that should probably be pretty easy to grab those chaotics and evils. Yeah, Shadow Servants still get their alignments. So you should be done with most of this if you kept up with the stuff in Merry Christmas, or just used your half AP dailies, and the rest you can pick up pretty easy in Fuyuki. Yay!
Yay!
And now, even though it's only been 15 minutes, I need to step away for a sec, so I'm going to pause and be right back. Unpause my recording. We're going. I'm back. Special water on my face. We're going. We're good. That means it's time to move into Skelegrams.
Your
Skeleton Grammy Awards. Wait, that's not how that works. So, at the top, even though this isn't, like, chronologically, I figured it was the most sense to mention it first. As of today, February the 18th, when we're recording this live, the Solomon movie film is available on streaming platforms. It was released at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on Crunchyroll and Funimation, and is out there for you to watch officially.
Yay.
It took them a little while to get there, but they got there.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but that's fine. It's here, eventually.
Yeah, rolled around. It's about an hour and a half, like we said earlier. We watched it. It's good. We'll do a review later. I can put in a funny note here where originally I was quite dissatisfied with Funimation's video player. It was not working properly, and I was thinking to myself, I'm going to cancel that subscription. But about halfway through, my video rebooted, and it was fixed. So I guess it was on their end. Good on them for realizing it was a problem and fixing it, I guess. You can continue to have my money for now.
I am always slightly bamboozled when I'm watching a video and suddenly I'm getting Spanish subtitles. I'm just like, why? Or sometimes I get the subtitles for a completely different episode. I'm all like...
Yeah, they're still not quality. The best, but my viewing experience of Solomon was manageable. It worked properly. All my buttons were there. I could drag the thing. My previous problem was just that the video player, like, literally lost its clickable interface. I had to do it with buttons, and I'm like, okay, well, Hope you remember where I'm at, because I cannot move the video slider. Then it unfucked itself, so after about, half an hour in. So that was okay. Thumbs up, everybody.
Thumbs up.
Still, like a lot of people, I'm hoping that eventually this merger will get sorted out completely, and hopefully we can get some brain trust together, and we can get, one video player that works for everybody between Crunchyroll and Funna. But I watched on Funimation because that's where my money currently is. Maybe my money will be in both places? I don't know, Sony. You already have so much of my money. Come on, help a brother out. But yeah, we will talk about that later. We will continue powering down the list of news because there's a lot of NA news, as it were.
We busy.
Starting at the top, the 16 million downloads campaign started on the 14th, going until the 23rd, which is really quite long. And so, it is time. Main interludes are introduced, as we said before. For a limited time, you can play Merry Christmas from the Underworld again. Completely free, just the story quests, for Saint Courts and stuff. And then afterward, it will be available in the Rare Prism shop. I believe it costs you... Does it cost you 1 to unlock the event again? Or maybe it's 5. I'd have to double check. You also get 1 copy of Santa Altera and all her Ascension mats, and then you can buy future NP copies from the Rare Prism shop. If you already have all your Santa Alteras from, the first time and then the second time, you'll get 1 free Rare Prism at the end of the event. So the whole thing is just a good part of the economy. Yeah, and we still don't have Grand Carnival over here. We also still don't have the Camelot movie streaming anywhere. It's a whole thing.
Fingus Paringus, as we like to say in the biz.
Hopefully that whole business gets streamlined somewhere, but we'll see what's up. It's clearly on the United States end, as I'll talk about in a little bit later. But yeah, gets our RP economy going. It's pretty good to get back in there, and they're very simple. You can do all the story stuff. They were slightly time-gated, but they're all out now. And again, if you don't do it for free, you can always catch it up later, and it becomes free. So there's no reason not to do it sometime. There's 6 Saint Courts, some free mustaches you can sell back for QP, some ticket. It's fine. During this time period, we have half QP costs for enhancement and double suck chance. We already mentioned it, but you can log in for 10 total days to get 10 of things. There are special master missions for mana prisms and for a rare prism. I believe some people have said that there is a quick event guide which says the fastest way to get to some of this stuff. If anybody in chat has that, otherwise, y'all can Google. Though I do know that some of you like us as a one-stop shop, so we'll see if we can get any assistance on that. But it is just, for more mana prisms and stuff. Wiggling out all over there. Main interlude, so you can kill some ghosts at Septum. You can go to Fuyuki Point 0 for Earth King and Underground and battles in Underground, yeah. X3 for 1 Earth, 1 Divine, 1 City. Fuyuki XA for 2 City. And then just training grounds for gems, yeah. So yeah, mostly just fuck around in Fuyuki. You can get that out of the way. The big one is you have to run Septum's Mount Eterna 2 times for some ghosts. Spooky ghosts. So there you go. What was next in my list? Right. Half AP Embers farming for a little bit. Also nice. Probably going to run that for myself a couple of times. We got an increase to the command code inventory size. It just went up 50 for free. And some old command codes are in the DaVinci shop. I do believe these are, since they were already released as a celebration, these are just straight up doubles. So that's nice. You can now also, speaking of DaVinci's shop, you can return Caldea Tea Time to the MP shop for RP. And we have a new CE, Gran Cavallo, in the Mana Prism shop. That gets you extra Bondi XP and Mystic Cody XP, I believe. Yay, grinding. The summon banner for this is Aresh Kigala and Fion, because of fucking course it is. Also, old CEs from the Christmas. And Fion got his animation update.
Sick.
Yeah, he looked pretty sick, but also, what's he doing on this Aresh banner? Thankfully, my Aresh is NP2, and I have no desire to risk any of my quartz or tickets gambling on extra NP levels for Fion. I'm gonna save all that energy for White Day, which should be soon. But also, technically happening tonight, so it'll just happen. It'll be the day for it by the time this goes live to public. 1,700 days celebration on the 18th. You get 10 Saint Courts. Yay!
Yay!
Some of you will also get cumulative login bonuses.
Not me!
No, I don't do that anymore. I had a couple of hurricanes that blocked that out. Couldn't log in for a little bit. But also in the past, obviously this happened during the intervening week since we recorded last, but we did also get 10 Saint Courts for officially switching to La Sengel. Which, by the way, that's the thing I wanted to bring up. Like, this whole, like, Funimation Crunchyroll thing's been, like, locked in for a long time, but I presume because of, like, antitrust oversight and stuff. It doesn't really seem like they're getting together so fast, whereas this Losangle thing happened, like, last month, and already, you know, new logo, celebratory Saint Court's the works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little funny. But yeah, we're Losangle now. You no longer shake your fist at Delightworks, you must shake your fist at Losangle. And that is how they spell it. It's not Rasenguru, it's not Rasengan, it's Losangle. We have a logo. There it be.
I guess we're probably just gonna abbreviate to like LS or something.
Losangle! Or you can just yell at lasagna. I'll never forgive lasagna. But the news train doesn't stop rolling. We're already prepared for what's happening next after this download campaign. It's time for President's Day. As we alluded to earlier, the President's Day celebration happening from the 20th to the 25th. Log in for 5 days for a total of 10 Saint Courts. 2 Saint Courts every day. That's it. Just 2 every day. We also will have a Summon banner. It's a Tesla and Edison summon banner, which is kind of funny because both those guys are story locked. So, yep, just a little something that FGO NA likes to throw our way. President's Day, Edison shows up, get some Saint Courts, go home. This is probably replacing any number of things that give us Saint Courts. Conventions, broadcasts. We felt like it. I don't know. We get 10 Saint Courts for lots of things. But yeah, there you go. Between 1700 Days, Losangle, and President's Day, that's a whole ass 10 pull, or 11 pull now, technically. Thumbs up. But also, starting around roughly that time, probably what y'all are waiting for, it's also been announced, Hunting Quest's number 7, lucky number 7, going from the 20th to the 27th, oddly enough. Funny how that works. They've pre-announced it, so they haven't revealed any of them, but according to my powerful clairvoyance future vision bullshit, the order will be, or should be anyway, skeletons, golems, Amazon necessities, royal guards, also ghouls for stakes, bicorns, and sphinxes, along with a couple of other extra mats. So, yay! More mats, everybody!
I love mats. I love them so much.
Yeah, it's good. Skeletons, man. Bones. Mr. Bones Wild Ride.
Never ends.
Excellent, we have the edit already. Perfect. Discord's full of a bunch of meme lords. When Loth loses in Yu-Gi-Oh!, he just goes away to make, like, 50 memes and comes back. It's not actually 50, but, like, he makes a lot, damn. But yeah, so Hunting Quest's getting out there. I'm gonna pull one of my official guesstimates that probably means that the, 28th/1st will probably get the White Day event.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just roll right into it, and that should still leave plenty of time for a late March Olympus as well. So, yay. Interesting to see what they do with the Aeon Breeze event. Spiderwebs was pretty cool. Pretty cool beans. So we'll see what's up. That should last... Let me check, actually. How long is that supposed to be? Aeon Spring Breeze... about a week, okay. Yeah, the JP duration was March 6th to March 15th, so like 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
Accounting for various zonings of time and things. We may do like a brief pregame next week, because there are technically like main quests and free quests, but it's pretty simple. There is a shop, so there's that at least. Oh, there's some nice stuff in here. Some more EXPs.
Yay!
And there's also, the Boys Collection free CEs and stuff. Very nice, as always.
Very nice.
That'll give us thumbnails for a show or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll last about a week-ish. I don't know, they might round it up to like 10-ish days. We'll see. There'll probably be some kind of break event and then Olympus. They could like ram jam straight into Olympus, but I don't know if they want to go that fast. Mostly because I don't know if there's that much reason to go that fast. We do have a decent chunk of things to get out of the way, but this isn't like, next year where there's a lot of shit to get out of the way before anniversary.
Oh shit, that's right.
What's up?
Sorry, no, it's like, again, my week is fucking packed. I forgot. Final Fantasy 14 is doing their live from the producer where, oh man, Yoshi P is gonna come on and talk like several hours about shit.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, that's another thing I gotta listen to. Because we're winding up to the next big patch here, and people are excited about housing for reasons.
Wow, I guess it's a thing that's on everybody's mind. Big patches that unlock housing.
Yeah.
Fucking Cyberpunk tweeting me fucking apartment tours in the middle of the day. I'm not at Act 1 yet, guys. Damn it. The prologue is long.
I really hate to see it, but the prologue is really one of the best parts of that fucking game.
Yeah, it's so good. I just had to take a pause the other day because I had to do some other stuff. Like, right before the end, unfortunately, after my main man Jack to this has passed away, but before I got into the like hour of cutscenes before I can actually play the game again, and I was like, this is like my one chance to stop. So I'll stop here, and hopefully I'll get back to it. But then I had to watch a movie. I had to watch some TV about some other stuff. Got all kinds of things. It's busy here, okay?
I'm busy.
Anyway, one last bit of musical news. JP is still in a holding pattern, still doing Valentine stuff, but there is one last thing to mention. We theorized this when they talked about the various return rate-ups, because Karen wasn't included in that. We are doing Valentine 2021 Summoning Rerun from the 16th to the 23rd, and it is a very basic Karen banner rerun plus the last year's CEs, so if you missed out on that one and were specifically waiting for it, that should, give you an opportunity there. There's no split rate up or anything, so pretty good. Those. The only thing I'm thinking of is, does anybody remember when the next Caldea satellite's supposed to be?
I do not have that on the brain, unfortunately.
I think it's still in February, technically.
Oh! Do we have anything in our news?
I'm
Probably
scrolling
not.
it. No, I think the answer is no. We've not cross-posted any of the broadcasting station recently that I can find. Like the Kochi stream thing was the last one, but I don't remember if we said when there would be another one. Let me see if I can go to like the wiki and see if it'll cough up like when the next one is. Where is events? Nope, there's a button for events. Where am I? No, I'm not seeing it. Wait, there's all events. Let's see if I can catch the actual campaign. That's the listing. Because I know they announced it, but oh god, yeah, no, I can't find anything on it. It's out there, but I don't remember when exactly it was. Like, it could be the 23rd, or it could be like the 28th or something, and be like at the right at the end of the month. I don't remember. So we'll keep an eye out for you. We'll try to let you know. We do have one more show in February. That'll probably be, the Caldea Boys Collection White Day, like, announcement and pre-everything. Possibly some more future hints as to other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so, sorry that we were not able to track down too much news on that. But, brain, time. This is what happens when you announce things, like, 4 weeks before they happen. I'm just like, what was that? What's going on?
What? Who?
Whereas if you don't give a date, and if you're just the Solomon thing, you just be like, coming soon, and you're like, is it out yet? Is it out yet? And then you drop the actual, like, this Friday on, like, a Wednesday. You're like, shit, dude. Okay. Well, guess I know what I'm doing. But that's it for the Skelegrams. All news is exhausted. There is no further news. Hopefully there'll be future news.
So, with that, we will move swiftly and quickly. Those mean the same thing, me. We'll move on to this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week, we have, let me refresh here for fun and profit, 16 submissions.
Yep,
we can probably get
one in.
Yeah. And so, we will get started right meow. The first one comes from King of Apples, who is very tired. Right there with everyone else here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they say, question, suppose you felt sorry for Geronimo and he felt he needed a friend. What would you do to create the absolutely worst servant, gameplay-wise? This is a very weird question, because I can't actually fathom making something badly.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm trying to think. Because, many video games have a long history of joke characters, right?
Right.
But I'm trying to think, what do you do to make us, like, deliberately make a servant bad? It's hard.
Well, I guess you give it probably, like, a really cool-looking MP, but, like, give it ridiculously low damage numbers or a damage multiplier. Yeah. So you couldn't do jack with it. And then, add just a bunch of fucking penalties for no goddamn reason for minimum benefit. Mm-hmm. But I can think of a bunch of bad things to do, but again, I can't actually make that into something cohesive, because that's weird. Also, takes a lot of thought.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to string together the design that would make a single servant who would be the quote-unquote worst. It would probably be better to start with the idea of making a joke servant and then figure out what the joke is.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've done that several times. We finally got Nobukatsu.
Mhm.
It took me to remember what the second part of his Nobu name was.
You can even say Bunyan's a joke character as well. Like with
Yeah.
her super, super quick MP
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot.
Angra is, in fact, like, almost deliberately bad, though they have actually tried to buff him to make his joke niche work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all their skills are just brave lizards, suck up all your NP battery and random. Randomizing is probably that probably leads yourself to being a more jokey character.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't guarantee anything.
But unfortunately, I have nothing else to say on that, or fortunately. So we will move swiftly on.
Yeah.
This next one comes from a returning friend who dusted off his old MTG. That's Magic the Gathering, y'all. Dex. Hey, Lucky Omega. Hope things are going well enough. Just wanted to say y'all are amazing people, whomst I respect. Whomst. Oh, hope you have a great day. Also, in case you're wondering, they're mostly mill decks. I see.
I mean, I would normally say you horrible monster, but actually, I think in Magic, that's probably, like, not at the shittiest person you could be. Magic's weird, guys.
Yeah.
People talk about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have enough alternate win cons. Magic has a lot of alternate win cons.
Milling someone's deck just seems mean.
Yeah, depending on the nature, it can be very mean. Depends how much, though, the other guy's deck has graveyard play, you know?
I guess, but that's one of those things you have to consider. Again, this is why I can't get into card games, because I'm like, this guy has probably put a lot of effort into making a deck that is going to absolutely ruin my day. I don't want to be a part of this fight.
That does sometimes happen. Other times you meet people who have no idea what they're doing. I've run into a lot of Buttons Turbo decks playing Mastery Duel. Unfortunately, the people who do know their decks seriously enough are enough to make that not fun. But that's a talk for another time.
Another time, and we will move swiftly on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hello, Lucky Omega. Are you both ready for non-stop events in March? Have a great weekend." Of course I'm not ready, but that ain't gonna stop me.
I'm perfectly ready for non-stop events in March. It's my fucking video gaming library that's not gonna live.
Oh god, no.
So
I'm gonna have to learn how to play the Switch with my feet.
I'm telling you, man. Doc Ock arms. Where are they?
I would use them. I would use them in a heartbeat.
The power of
Doc Ock.
the Switch in the palm of my hand. That's all Doc Ock wanted. He didn't even want to do fusion power. He just wanted the ability to play more video games.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that. We move on. This next one comes from a master planning how to introduce Tamamo to his new foxy wife. I believe it's pronounced Ye. I'm not entirely sure.
I believe the introduction you get is Polygamous Castration Fist.
Yes. Which you may die from, but according to Spacious Tar, the master dying constantly is something that is expected of you. So, Poe might be doing save scumming more than you think.
Well, we do have to get out of our bad ends in Valentine's somehow. It's all just faux loading save states.
But they say, "Hey, Lucky Omega, hope the weather's been treating you right." Actually, we've been having fairly high clouds here, so we've been getting less rain than we usually do. I've actually discovered that's a very neat way for me to like gauge the weather on my way to work, because I have a giant volcano in the distance. If I can't see the volcano, that means the clouds are very low and means there might be rain. If I can see the volcano, that means the clouds are high or less likely to rain on me.
Neat.
It's
it's actually realized that it's Florida and it hasn't been literally freezing cold for the past several days, so that's a good thumbs up. I have to run fans again. My God.
I mean, we're on our way out. We have surpassed the apex of winter. I get up now and there's sunlight coming in and I hiss in discomfort and dismay.
I mean, I'm hoping for spring showers, you know. I always love to wake up and open my blinds to a gentle rain.
Sorry, I was just thinking about that. It's like, I like rain, but I don't like rain when I have to go out into it because I have to go to work.
It's true. Rain is for staying inside coffee shops and listening to smooth jazz.
Oh, yeah. Or Persona 5 remixes. Mm-hmm. Which is smooth jazz.
Yeah, no, that's the joke. Welcome to Luwak Coffee, everybody. By the way, it's a Persona anniversary year, and Atlas hasn't done anything crazy interesting yet. But I did notice that their YouTube channel keeps uploading old Persona opening movies. And I'm just like, don't you do it!
Oh, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, they're gonna do it.
But this person goes on to say, "Hey, Lucky Omega. Hope the weather's been treating you right with the release of main interludes. It reminds me of all the fun I've had in those events last time. My question this week is, which servant would you like to see in an outfit hinted at in the story quests or side events? Seeing a hood or a resh makes me wish that was a costume for her. Stay awesome, my dudes. P.S. Yes, Extra Drake does count, although everyone wants that one. So what can you do?
Ponytail Drake is very powerful, yes.
It is very powerful.
I honestly, you brought it up. I wish Hooded Aresh exists. It's adorable, with the hood up.
I'm trying
My
to think
other
of, like...
big one is, I have a question, because I don't remember. Does Ishtar ever get her Super Ishtar costume?
I thought she did.
Yeah, I thought that eventually happens, but it took him a long time.
No?
No? Okay, still haven't? Yeah, that's on my list then, yeah. I mean, that's pretty simple. She's got a combat sprite for it, and she's just got some red lines, guys. Come on. Help brother out. It can't be that hard. You give costumes to Arcade all the time, and those are on machines that you have to machine update. I don't know.
I'm actually very surprised that they got Drake's CE costume, the, what was it, Vestia del Sol?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was a fly on the wall for some of those, like, Arcade design meetings. I really wonder, like, how big their team is and how they make these decisions. Because, like, it's all really cool and stuff. It's just...
Well, I always found it interesting because the Vestia del Sol was an homage to an old anime.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so we got a costume based off, using an extra character based off an old anime. I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that might make it more reasonable, the fact that, like, more people will get the costume, and, like, as in get the reference and be interested in it. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Always makes me wonder. As opposed to, like, you know, when we get costumes, we're like, hey, you can take Old Man Lee and you can take his glasses off. Ugh.
I mean, Arcade does a lot of that. They just usually, because in that pack, I think they had like,
yeah, Arcade.
The Drake one was a big one, but they had like a bunch of like Nero accessories and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, the Arcade. I mean, she deserves it for decapitating Bunny. But no, what I was saying was that Arcade usually does that, where they bundle a couple of, like, basically accessories. Hey, we glued some extra shit on your model, and then they have, you know, when they do costume drops, they have one or two, like, big complete overhaul costumes. Like, I think since the last time we complained about Arcade, Gil got his Gilfest costume, like the leather trench coat.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Lucky, did you have any specific costumes you want in mainline FGO? I guess as we drift away from the question a little bit.
Mainline? I mean, I don't know if they can do the costume, but I think it'd be wild if they actually got male Kama in there. And I still like the design. I'm a Kama stan. Other than that, no, not really.
What about Blue Summer Kama?
Blue Summer Kama, yes. I almost forgot about that one.
Yeah. I believe that's a story sprite only. Come on, guys. Yeah. She's literally blue. How hard can it be?
Just throw that blue paint over her. That's a hilarious image, now that I think about it.
I mean, I don't know. When we get to actually talking about Solomon, I have some thoughts about, like, I wonder how much of a pain it is for FGO to do some of these, because, like, there's an idea with costumes that there will be, like, at least slightly different voice lines, right?
Sometimes,
so, like,
yeah.
Usually they insert maybe a couple more in there, just as part of, like, the craft of it. So I wonder if, like, they feel like for core FGO they actually need to do that, and then how much of a pain in the butt is it then for them to get, like, you know, some of these heavy actors in for, like, hey, we just need to call you up and we need you to read, like, 3 new comma lines, okay. You know? So, it's an interesting thought, but okay.
It's an interesting thought. But
More
we
costumes.
shall move swiftly and quickly on.
Wonder if they'll do, before we move on completely, I do wonder now, I mean, probably not for the collab again, but I wonder if they will do an event like the collab they did last year, which was heavily costume-focused and had, like, a special system to get more costumes. Will they do just a giant costume dump event? I wonder. I
mean, we have been doing, interestingly enough, like, big costume dumps. Like, there was one during Anniversary, not last year's, but the year before, and then, like, again, like you said, they had the big costume dump on.
It should be a new infusion of costumes also this year's Anniversary, I think, if I remember rightly.
I believe it is.
The one where Nero gets her second costume and poor Tamamo gets nothing.
I cry every time. Well, the number of Tamamo phases has gone up dramatically from the bound to Nero phases, so I guess it's okay?
FGO seems to be stretching Wadarko's energy by just having her draw more and more Ascensions for Koyanskaya. They gave her 2 whole Koyanskayas to give her more Ascensions to draw.
Like, that's the thing, like, if we want to talk about costumes, it's like, all the Koyanskaya costumes. Like, can we even?
Because we have all of those get ported over to her Ascensions, but obviously not all of them.
Alright. But now I am forcing us to move on. So thank you very much. This next one comes from Void Dust Crusader, who says, "Hi, I was wondering what your guys' favorite ascension of Sei. I find myself between torn between her first and third ascension because of that beautiful smile of hers during her NP in her third form. Me, personally, if I had, I'm kind of there with you with first and third, but if I had to pick her first, because it just suits her personality so much better.
Joke's on you! I set her ascensions to random! Yeah, yeah, that's what it did. You can do that, by the way. Just set it to random. You get them randomly. Chaos Koyanskaya. Sorry, that's a chat joke. Somebody talking about getting the third Koyanskaya. Valk's probably another good one. But yeah, no, for say, I set it to randomize. Sometimes it's first, sometimes it's second, sometimes it's third. Whatever she feels like that day, I guess.
So, with that, let us move swiftly on. And this next one comes from a guy who's glad hunting season is coming back because he's got Skeleton to punch and FGO to play. Hello, Laffy Taffy Lucky and Oreo Omega. Hope all is well with you guys. I got nothing this week. I just swung by to say hi. See you guys next week. Bye. Well, see you then, my dude. Take care. Hunt well and be safe.
Something about the skeletons to punch, I had a joke, and then I, stopped to rub the vein of tiredness above my right eye, and then I lost it. It's gone.
Well, clearly you saw something that you were not meant to, and you just got light bulbed.
Yeah. Maybe it'll come back to me. No, wait, yes, I remember now. I was gonna do the thing from Lord of the Rings. Looks like bones are back on the menu, boys. There it is. Brought it around. Full circle. Let's go.
This next one comes from, my wallet is telling me no, but my impulses were telling me yes. I know this name. Dear Lucky Omega, what do you do? When do you feel it's a priority to get MP2 for a 4 or 5 star servant? Me, usually I never really feel like it's a priority. Usually I'm quite happy with getting MP1, and usually I only really reserve trying to get MP2s or above for servants I have a personal vested interest in, so my Sakura faces, Tamamo faces, Murasaki, Raiko.
Yeah.
You know, the ones I'm like, this one's my favorite.
Yeah, for 4 stars, I don't really set priority. Those guys are usually easier to get, so it's usually, if they're story locked or limited or something, then it's, 1 or nothing kind of a deal, And if they're not story locked, I'm like, we'll find those extra NPs eventually. Usually when I least expect it. For 5 stars, yeah, it's usually when I'm rolling banners, I'm like, I'll take NP2, but I do not try and force it most of the time. So, I've mentioned before, I did some, ticket rolling and stuff, and I have an NP2 Aresh. That's always cool for that overcharge. I ended up with NP2 Summer Musashi just through sheer trying to get Summer Carmilla. So, yeah, there's a couple of moments where I've gotten those, but I don't usually try very hard for it. That's kind of like a gradual thing. I'll be like, yeah, I could probably use some overcharge on this servant or whatever.
And, yeah, I got nothing else to say, so let us move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from a morphily morose master maniacally munching morning muesli. Top points for alliteration. And they say, hey, Lucky Mega, how goes the week? Hope Valentine's Day brought you as much joy as they did for me. I mean, I didn't get to see half of them, so I'm kind of dead inside, but it is what it is. They go on to say, my question to you, FGO borrows heavily from a lot of myth and folktales with varying levels of accuracy to the actual source material. I feel like I should give you a very solid side eye here.
That's a very interesting way to phrase it, yes.
All things said, they tend to be pretty faithful in some parts, with bits, also read as loads, of creative liberty. Again, side eye. But which movie / book / anime based on mythology prevalent in FGO had you going, does not compute? Whoops. I hit the wrong button there. Where am I?
Visible confusion.
Visible confusion. Recently, I chanced upon Guy Ritchie's King Arthur, and while saying nothing about the actual movie, the story and plot just left me with the urge to want to hug the floor. Take care, may your rules be blessed. Cheers.
What are you talking about? The Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie is the best Fate Stay Night movie of all time. The guy grabs Excalibur and explodes into a tornado of killing dudes. What's his face? Jude Law plays Vortigern, and people just shout his name. There's a giant snake. There's several Celtic folk songs in it, which are amazing. Still listen to that Huntsman thing. Honestly, it's probably Arthur. Y'all remember the old-ass King Arthur movie from, the year 2004? The one that was supposed to be the real story. That was weird. King Arthur gets saddled with this a lot. It's because there's, 4 different versions of the text of that work. I mean, I never saw it, but that time they tried to make that blockbuster movie, The Gods of Egypt, I was just like, no. That's not how it works, no. What they did to the Percy Jackson books and the Percy Jackson movies was also a crime, which is why they had to stop it too. I think Disney Plus is actually going to try and make a series that's more faithful to the books. We'll have to see how that goes. They made that Artemis Fowl movie that I still haven't seen, but that people told me was not good, so... I'm trying to think. Are there any other really weird ones? Lucky, can you think of anything?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah. that one's funny because fucking John Cleese is a Arthurian scholar. Like he's a huge nerd.
I know, that's why I said it.
Yeah, it's great. But also they have they're on a fucking shoestring budget. Oh, it's a great time.
No, that's a great movie, but it is Legend of King Arthur and his quest for the Holy Grail, and they just go so fucking weird with it.
We are the knights who say,
oh no,
must
they left on the Grail light
with this heading. And then there's the Castle Anthrax filled with virgins. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
Go away, to the round table, we dance where we're able. We do routine, quarter scenes, a frequent epic cable. We dine well here in Camelot. We eat ham and jam and spam a lot. I used to be able to sing that entire song. I can't anymore. I forgot it.
On second thought, let us not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. Also, the great prig was that it's only a model.
Only a model. No, but they had everything in there. Yeah. Wizards, fantastical beasts.
There are some who call me Tim.
I still think that my favorite thing about that is he literally just forgot the line and just went with whatever, and they just rolled with it.
Hey, improv comedy. Yeah, fuck, dude. Okay. It's on Netflix. If you haven't watched Holy Grail, either ever or in a while, check it out. Much like most of the Python sketches, almost every fucking line is so good.
Also, check out Life of Brian if you get the chance. It's a weird trip.
Life of Brian's another really good one. It says Romans go home. No, it don't.
Do you have a problem with my name, Biggus? Dickus?
Yeah.
Actually, on that vein, I don't actually know how accurate it is, but do you remember the movie Caligula?
Yes. That's another one that's, really weird.
I
think part of that was because I believe that movie was, half funded by, Penthouse or something.
I don't know.
It got really weird.
Yeah, it did.
But as fucking Malcolm McDowell in it as Caligula. And I remember some of the lines, every man is no man, therefore I am a god. If you ever wonder, is Caligula crazy boy? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh. But, yeah, no, those are the only two that I can really think of off the top of my head is Caligula and Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
There was that Troy... There's a couple of times where I think due to budget, Hollywood around the turn of the millennium tried to make, these, depowered movies. There was the Troy, where all the gods were taken out and everybody was just dudes. Though Brad Pitt was Achilles, so he was still Brad Pitt. There was the Alexander biopic, where I think it was Angelina Jolie played Olympias. It was a weird time in movie films. Now we just make Marvel movies and we don't give a shit about the budget.
What was the movie? Oh, Wrath of the Titans. That was another weird one.
Yeah.
I went to see that one thinking it was be cool. And I'm like, yes, this is an impressive CG, but what the fuck is actually happening here?
I wonder if Red's going to bring that up, because I saw her tweeting about, take your OSP drink, by the way, tweeting about the weird gals being pals, hide your lesbians type shit, like with Sailor Moon, where in the dub they made the two girls who were very clearly gay cousins, but they didn't take on any of the subtext, so it just stayed weird. It's the same in Troy, where, Patroclus becomes Achilles' cousin, because it can't be too gay. It's only the 2000s.
Well, no, if it was made now, they would totally be gay, and it'd be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be gay. Actually, I wonder, do we have any, big mythological, touch pieces coming up this year? I haven't really been checking out the cinema recently because, the coup kind of killed, all desire I had to go to see movies.
Yeah.
So I haven't really been, I'll check it out later.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Mostly it seems like historical fantasy is going to be on TV. I'm starting to see trailers for the Amazon Lord of the Rings show that I'll probably watch because why the fuck not? They're gonna make a Lord of the Rings anime about Rohan. Had no idea where that one came from. That one just came out of left field.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Uncharted movie came out today. I should check reviews on that. I'm curious.
I think I've heard positive so far, but I'm not sure.
Let's see what Rolling Stone has to say here real quick. Oh, Rolling Stone has a very spicy.
These numbers are not good on Rotten Tomato or Metacritic, but I also don't It did just come out, so I don't know. Is that like a critical score? Oh, yeah, lucky. On Rotten Tomatoes, 39% tomato meter, 88% audience.
This seems like some people might be up their ass then.
Promisingly cast but misleadingly titled, Uncharted mines its best-selling source material to produce a disappointing echo of superior adventure films. But if the audience liked it, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah,
But
it's almost like the movie industry doesn't understand what populism is like. Not nominating Spider-Man No Way Home for Best Film Oscars, but but to save their engagement, they have a category where you can vote 20 times a day for the fan favorite movie.
Very weird.
The movie industry is still a little weird, y'all. But anyway, yeah, I think we answered this question to death.
Yes. Now let's move on. So this next one comes from Commandant of Purifying Force. Greeting, I think it's pronounced Shikaso? Shikaso.
Yeah.
Google!
Google Senpai.
What is this? Oh, it's German. It's German for fate. Destiny.
Schicksal.
Hang on. Okay, apparently it's pronounced Schicksal. I had to look it up. Alright, so... Greetings, Schicksal, Lucky, and Anti-Entropy Omega. With the release of the main interludes on... I saw this as one word first, and I just wanted to go Fagona.
Sure, Fajona.
Fajona. FGONA has started. You was wondering if it could be possible to do an extra...
Hold on, subject, verb have to agree.
Oh god, I feel like I'm in Haro the Ninth, and that's second person now.
Oh no, we're shifting to third person, Lucky!
With the release of Main Lifter and Fajona has started, you was wondering if it would be possible to do an extra interlude with path non-canon events that has welfare servants for newcomers to unlock via RP or certain milestone missions as demonstrated by the Player Tower event on JP. Please let me know your thoughts and more power to you. I am fucking... Just the fact that it's such an innocuous mistake because again I just want to point this out. You and I are literally right next to each other on the keyboard.
No, and it's not capitalized, so it's just we were probably just typing.
But just by changing that one letter, I just read this in a completely different vibe than I would normally, and it threw me off so much.
Yeah, it really that one little flip just kind of like deboned the structure of this question. It got very weird. As for my thoughts, I mean, well, Prison Tower is canon though. Dante's is in everything.
Even in the movie.
That said, I guess the question of like events that are actually, that's a good question. Are any events technically non-canon? I think a couple are. Most of them are though. We have a lot of free time in between our singularities. And our lost belts. But yeah, like I guess the question then is like, you know, when we do like another form of interlude rather than for stuff that keeps coming up in main story, only comes up in side content, and give access to welfares, I think they could. I don't know if they'll want to go that route necessarily. The focus on the replaying seems to be to make sure that you can keep getting your continuity of story. They did have a whole like review sequence. I don't know if that's permanent, but they did do a whole like rerun review of the story of the Liz trilogy leading up to the last Halloween event so that people could catch up, right? So I could see them doing that, but for like, I guess plots and like one-off, yeah, we probably do need a good continuity at this point. Mostly because those assholes keep coming back every year and they keep talking like we know them, and understand their struggles. Hijikata and his constant quest for pickles.
Again, I also feel like in Good there is some underlying problem there that they just haven't touched on or something.
Yeah, there's some interesting through line ideas. And it just keeps getting a bigger and bigger ensemble comedy. But, you know, we'll see how the next one handles it. But, you know, if they were to, like, do some permanently on stuff, that would probably be okay. But at the same time, what I was going to say, I don't know if we would, like, go the extra mile to make sure people were, say, continuity caught up on, like, Christmas 1, right? Like, it was funny, but it was also very basic. Saber Alter kidnapped us, turned herself into Santa, and made us deliver presents. Except for that one time when we chose not to deliver presents. I see, this house is empty.
I wouldn't mind if we, like, revisited old events and maybe remade them, though.
Yeah, if they could do some, like, fun remixing. Kind of like how, like, honestly, kind of like how Case Files, like, brought up some nostalgia stuff for some of their things, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it was the collage of our memories. So, like, there could be interesting concepts there, but a lot of the core event stuff that are over a certain age are very basic and so on.
Mhm.
I do think they could probably afford to, like, main interlude, like, you know, Guda Guda 1, so you could always get your introduction to, like, Okita and Nobu and always have your Nobu because they just keep coming back. But, you know, hey, we'll see whatever they do this year. New year, new us.
New year, new us. Well, and I have nothing else to add to that, so let us move on. Thank you very much.
Oof. A man in chat just said he needs Nobu mats. Yeah, FGO, I'd love for you to be able to fix that problem. It's rough, buddy.
That is rough. This next one comes from Lord of Darkness, who says, "Hey there, Lucky Omega. No question, just sending you 2 good vibes."
Vive check?
Vibe check.
I'll take a free Vive headset.
We vibing now. Sending you 2 good vibes and good luck on your rush rolls if rolling or whatever future rolls you plan on doing. I have an MP1 rush. I am content with that. I will live. I have an MP Beyond.
I'm double good. Okay, I didn't plan.
And my Beyond is good.
Yeah, he's good. He's full. Is he
full.
perhaps full from the time you tried to get Bryn?
Yeah.
Gee. However, could this have happened? No,
Man,
my next hit's probably gonna be I'm gonna blow all my tickets on the White Day.
Me? I'm not sure. Actually, I don't think I necessarily have anything I want to roll on until. Actually, no, I don't even think I want to really roll on Olympus either. Now that I think about it,
We'll see what happens.
we'll see what happens. But
Remember, there's a second banner after Olympus 1 that's Roma 2, Roma Boogaloo.
yeah, I know.
You might like that guy.
I might. Like, again, Lucky has the eternal problem of I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna fucking roll on this. I don't care about these characters. I spent 5 minutes with these characters. I'm like, oh no.
See, at least for the first half of the banner, many people can pre-make that decision. Well, I mean, you know, they're Lost Belt servants, so they're assholes. But the first is you can go, oh, hey, it's Dioscuri and it's Canis. I can figure this out for myself.
Wait, yeah, the collab. Durr. I do want Dino Wife. That's probably where I'm gonna be rolling.
Dino Wife. There's a fucking, like a, you know, primetime sitcom jingle there somewhere.
I don't know about Primetime Single, but I do remember reading a manga about a dude who fell in love with a girl that had a bottom half of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Because, you know, manga. It was pretty good!
I mean, when you've done all the mermaid stories to death, what can you do to up this? T-Rex.
Yeah!
It's the same thing, really.
Dude, I'm gonna go look for it. Right the fuck now. I'm just gonna type T-Rex in and see what happens.
Well, somebody's already got it in chat.
Oh, hey! They do! Sick!
Is she eating like a meat roll from like the center out? I
Yeah.
don't understand. I don't understand the physics.
I
What
don't
are,
know.
what are you talking about? That is a Gen 8 fossil. I played Sword and Shield. Also, I love the cover of the manga is posed perfectly, so you don't see her nips, even though this T-Rex chick is not wearing a shirt. What her
She has
shirt?
to struggle
She's
putting on
T-Rex.
clothes with, you know, scissor hands.
But she does not have a big head, little arms. Her head is perfectly normal sized, and her arms are also normal sized, but T-Rex hands.
Oh. Okay, so let's keep moving on. This next one comes from the Tyrant Krink, now defused from Blue Eyes, and reviving Wallakut again after killing it for Constellation 6 Yai Miko and MP5 at rest. Jesus. Hey guys, sending the good and chill vibes. Wah, 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 wah. No question this week. Have a nice weekend and hope you enjoy the Solomon movie and catch up on video games and anime. It's like you know. Oh wait, this was an hour ago. Clearly, this was loaded.
Sorcery.
Sorcery.
Well, I mean, we did enjoy this. Well, I enjoyed the Solid movie. I won't speak for Lucky yet.
I have issues with it, but I enjoyed the overall experience.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things they could have done better. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect adaptation, but it was still pretty good. I had fun. And then I did not have fun, and then I guess I had fun again. Do you really describe Time Temple Solomon as fun, y'all? Let me know in the comments.
I don't describe it as fun.
But catching up on video games, God, no. Never. I'm gonna be shoveling for a while. Hey,
Like,
Kevin.
I got my copy of Horizon Forbidden West today, and it's still in the Amazon package because I'm afraid that if I open it, I'm gonna be like, just the tip.
And then you're gonna play 18 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that one because my order was delayed till Monday, and then I was like, I can start a new Cyberpunk run, and then it was undelayed till Saturday, so it was only slightly delayed, and I'm like, well, I mean, I knew this was the hell I was walking into. Here we are.
Here
Talking
we
about
are.
FGO.
Talking about FGO. And talking about FGO, we will move on to the next one, which comes from random FGO thoughts. And
Only
they say,
one capital letter in for Joe, by the way.
that's why it's FGO. They say, if Shinji was to become a pseudo-servant, who do you think he'd be paired with with a tactician or a divinity? While playing Christmas in the Underworld, I wonder if Shinji would pair well with Nurgle, misspelled? Question mark? I don't know, I think it's right. And then thought it'd be easier to make sense if he would pair with someone from the same pantheon as Sakura. But when does FGO need to make sense? I mean, consider, Rin is literally 2 Mesopotamian gods, and then Sakura is part of the Hindu.
Sakura is also two Hindu goddesses.
Yeah, so, let's see here. Shinji?
Is there an incompetent tactician he can be part of? Can we just complete the circle of the joke?
No, honestly, you know what's weird? It's weird. Loki. Shinji is kind of a heel, is always trying to set traps and plans and stuff, and things always go horribly wrong when he's involved. And it usually bites him in the
gremlin
ass.
man Loki, yes.
Because while a lot of people try to make Loki look really fucking cool and stuff, and he Martin Patrol and stuff, he's kind of a fucking asshole, and usually whatever he does bites him in the ass in some way.
There is some, I believe, etymology that Loki's name is supposed to be, or one of his epithets is supposed to be backbiter. Which you could interpret as, like, betrayer, or could just interpret as dramatic irony. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah. Because, like, again, like, doing the whole God of War playthrough, you know, I actually did, like, some research on Loki and whatnot, try to figure out, understand his legends. And again, he just wakes up one day and says, I choose chaos.
Yeah, he's minding his own business, and then one day he's just like, no, you know what? Fuck you. Would his NPB Loki's, like, weird sword thing we don't know much about, or would you think it would be him shooting the mistletoe arrow?
It'd probably be the mistletoe arrow.
Pierce Invul?
Pierce Invul, single target, probably arts. He'd probably have writing. Because it's one of those weird things. But yeah, no, I think an archer Loki would probably make a fair amount of sense. Tacticians-wise, unfortunately, I do not know tacticians off the top of my head that well.
There's gotta be one who is just a goofus, a goober.
Let's see, what happens when I say... When I put in bad tactician into Google? What happens?
Raptor with a great point. Thanks to OSP, I know that no one knows anything about Loki. Correct. Accurate.
Let's see here. Let's see. Some people are saying Robert E. Lee. Others are saying Hannibal. I find that one weird.
I mean, I don't know if he was good in direct conflict, but you can't say that Hannibal Barca didn't have a cunning mind, you know, when he crossed the fucking Alps in elephants.
Yeah, I know, but then after that, he wandered 15 years trying to lure the Romans out or something?
Yeah, after the initial shock value, he couldn't clinch it, but, like, he had the game plan, and it really got those guys on the Roman border. They were like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? Squish. But then the Romans chose to be less... They chose to be smarter than that, and were just like, no, we're not going to leave our town to go fight the weird elephant guy. Fuck him.
Unfortunately, I can't look. I don't think I have the capacity to look up and actually give you a real answer. So I'm gonna go low. Like honestly, I think it fits. I think it fits very well. Loki being a Shinji face.
Yeah, we could see. I could see Shinji as the unrepentant gremlin energy, but then also, you know, everybody does the Draco and leather pants thing for Loki as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like that also works because, you know, Shinji can learn to be less of an asshole, so it would work out. It would also it would certainly give a Shinji face Loki the energy we're looking for in, like, everybody just hates his guts, right?
Right.
Because, like, half the team would look at his face and just be like, there's something about that. Except old man Muramasa would just be like, aha, you have a stupid face. Let us be friends. Let us be friends, dumb face. But then, like, every, like, vaguely Nordic servant would be like, oh yeah, that guy. And then every pseudo-servant would just be like, that asshole.
I want to see...
Even Gil could be like, there's something about that Loki guy. I kind of want to punch his heart out.
Medusa's line is, he just gets kicked.
Rider kick.
Just rider kick. Oh. No, like, the more I think about it, the more I'm locked into it.
It's good. It's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, I'd have to say, I'm also just constantly thinking of the moment with Akechi. I mean, you have it. You know what it is.
I mean, have you, like, watch Heaven's Feel 3. Just watch Heaven's Feel 3. No, wait, it was the end of Heaven's Feel 2, actually.
But no, you know what Kama's reaction would be. It's right there. It's just that oil meme sound. Or the meme of it look, she looked like she was looking at walking garbage. The works. All right, cool.
I need to make more stickers. I need to find more good stuff.
Well, actually, I was because I was talking about becoming Floor earlier. I realized I don't think we currently have a version of the Floor icon as an emote, unless I'm not seeing it.
No, like I said, I never really finished the Floor one because I couldn't get the angle right on it because I'm a horrible artist.
Oh, maybe we can work that out. We can do Floor. You can also do Burrito.
Burrito.
And then if we combine the two, then we have the Ripperito. When you become Burrito and become Floor at the same time. I mean, I think the general issue is just the angle and the transparency and the fact that Discord is like Discord, so it's just, when it's transparent, it's a flat gray background, because of course I'm using night mode, you heathen. Do you think I'm some kind of day mode creature? I'm some kind of day mode walker? Anyway, I believe we are about to do the next question. Question?
So this next one comes from a man unable to come up with a clever alias this week. They say, "Hey guys, no questions this week. Just wishing you well." Written from the floor after watching Solomon. Ba-bum-bum.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Do the "we'll be right back" noise.
And with that, we move swiftly on. Stay tuned for our Solomon thoughts.
Smart.
This next one comes from Moon is hungry again after eating dinner and snacks twice, and it's driving her insane. I don't know if I should go into like food health, but nah. Your body does it for a reason. Listen to your body.
Yeah, there's probably something going on with your intake there that your body's still, whether that's your circadian rhythm or what you're eating, but I'm not a fucking dietitian.
Knowing you, Moon, and how your life is, it's probably stress.
Mm-hmm.
But they say, question, "Hey there, Lucky Omega, hope all is well. Since I watched Disney's Encanto, there was no H in there. I've been craving Colombian food. So the question is, did you ever crave a type of food that you had little to no access to? I tried to cook for myself, but I suck at cooking, so that's out of the question for me." That's a lie, by the way.
Become the change you want to see.
You only presently suck at cooking, and as Jake the dog once said, sucking at something is the first step to becoming good at something. And that is actually my answer. My food answer is Japanese food. I don't have a wide repertoire of it, but after watching so much goddamn anime with so much goddamn good-looking food, the fucking bastards, I was all like, no, I want this, give. And now I got freaking udon and takwon, kimchi, and fucking all this crazy stuff. I actually found a bakery that actually sells Asian style sweets and whatnot, and they have some of those classic anime sweets. They got fucking choco cornets, they got red bean buns. Ooh. There's a guy in the back who sells a taiyaki, so I get the hot fish with the sweet red bean. God, it's so fucking good. If you guys haven't actually had taiyaki, you should get it. It's really fucking good. But there's melon bread, but I don't like melon bread because it has cream cheese, and I'm not a cream cheese dude. But no, Japanese food, always interested me for, a long time, and then I was like, fuck it, no, I'll just start making it myself.
So, funnily enough, I do actually have a call on this, something I've recently. I mentioned before, I think it was on this week's Uncharted stream, which you should go watch. I was going to make a joke about Rotten Tomatoes score, but I won't. That's mean to the Uncharted movie, and I haven't seen it. It deserves no pain from me. I'm sure it's fine. Tom Holland is cool.
He is cool.
But I mentioned this so that I have been watching some Let's Plays of Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which partially takes place in old-fashioned London. And there's an NPC whose idle animation is he's constantly noshing on an unending newspaper full of fish and chips. And y'all, if you know me, if you've heard me talk a while, you know that I'm not a big seafood guy. I'm not really big about the ocean. There's 2 items of ocean food that I enjoy, and I know it's weird. New England style clam chowder. Yes, I know that's really weird. That I'm kind of a focused eater, but I'll eat a clam chowder. I'll eat a fucking clam so long as it's in chowder with potatoes and maybe a little bit of bacon. The other thing is I have had authentic, actually in England, last time I was in England, many years ago now, over a decade, authentic fish and chips on the dockside. I don't remember what city it was, but somewhere in Cornwall. Newspaper and everything. And it's fucking delicious, guys. Real ass fish and chips, delicious. Unfortunately, it requires a very specific type of fish that I believe there was issues with the levels of, so I do not know how easy it is to access. It requires white cod. But sometimes I think about that, and just seeing this Ace Attorney character just constantly stuff his face with unending fish and chips, I'm just like, damn, it's been a long time since I had the fish and chips. I wonder if I can get access to it. It's just fried. It's not that hard.
For me personally, like talking seafood, I'm also the same with seafood. Unfortunately, I don't like clam cheddar at all. But I'm okay with fish as long as it's fresh. I can't do market fish. If it's not fresh caught, it's disgusting to me.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a small child, I'm pretty sure, I cannot be 100% certain, but I'm pretty certain I've eaten a fish stick before, but that's like, as an adult, that's not really worth it. It's kind of grody. Stick of fish, it's frozen. I did watch it was one of those expert videos I talked about where like a Japanese sushi chef rated sushi movies, and like hearing him talk about the art, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I'm not like a big, pure fish guy. I don't know if I'd like to eat a raw tuna, but it sure seems like the guys, know what they're talking about. I bet I could roll up to a real sushi chef and be like, hello, sir, I do not usually enjoy, fishy seafood. What would you recommend to me? And he'd probably come up with something. Here, try this. It doesn't taste like anything at all. What's this? Oh, it's not actually seafood. It's tofu. It's vegetarian. Neat.
It makes me think of the show Midnight Diner. It's on Netflix. I believe all of it's on Netflix now, but it's basically
Netflix has a couple of random street food shows.
The Midnight Diner is a Japanese show about a guy who basically runs a small diner in a back alley, and just makes a little bit of food for everybody. I'm just like, oh,
yeah, I gotta be careful about those. I don't remember what show it was or what video series, but there was something I had to stop watching in the middle of the night because it was suddenly all about food, and I'm like, no, it's 3 a.m. Stop, cease. But yeah, so there's always a little stuff with people.
Always a little bit. So let us move on. This next one comes from an Artorias stand trying to farm 29 hero proofs for Proto Arthur before the hunting quest start. Greetings, Fire Saurian and Lucky and Wood Ninja Omega. I'm glancing around trying to get the joke, but I'm not getting a cue card, so I guess I'm just going to let it roll.
Oh, the cue card's at the bottom of the stack, Lucky.
Oh. I hope you're both doing well, and I'm sending you the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. I'm not sure if either of you have the Grand Temple of Time Solomon movie yet, so I'll submit my question that week. Have a great rest of your weekend. Reference, Shooting Star Rockman 2 / Mega Man Star Force 2. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, no. I'm even a Rockman guy, and I don't think I would have got that right away.
I haven't been a Mega Man guy in a long time.
But, hey, guys, guess what? Joke's on you! We did see the Solomon movie. We'll talk about it in a second.
Hey.
Raw time, by the way, we're very close to an hour 30. We're like an hour 28. It won't be that in the edited audio once I compress out all the awkward silences and moments where we're just trying to work our poor tired brains. But, moral victory.
Moral. All right, and we will go on to our last one, which comes from Gotcha is Suffering. Gotcha gets pain. And they say, Q, why are we still here? Just to suffer? No, we are here to live. And sometimes life is suffering. But also, life is pleasure. You must have both. For one without the other, you will not understand either.
Human life is a story of love and hope.
But they finish. Anyway, hope the Gotcha life isn't treating you guys too harshly. It's not the Gotcha life treating me harshly, it's my inability to log in on a reasonable basis.
Yeah, the other stuff.
All the other stuff.
Also, Lucky, you didn't read the line right. It's, why are we still here? Just to suffer? Thanks,
I'm
Kaz.
not gonna be... I know, it's Metal Gear Solid 5, but I can't fucking...
You can't summon Kaz from deep inside you?
No!
Kaz. Boss.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't played, 5 in so long, I can't necessarily remember his voice.
I mean, I mostly just remember the quote, but that's because I probably watch a decent number of fucking meme lord internet videos.
That's probably it.
Where people will just insert it. That's why I know all these weird sound cues these days.
Just to suffer. I mean, I can kind of remember it from the trailer where the music is going and whatnot, but that's about it. One day, again, I have the same problem with Metal Gear Solid 5 that I do, I have with, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I know the ending isn't exact what I want it to fucking be, so I'm just I have no interest in actually finishing this.
Yeah, God, what was that was the same thing that happened to me. I got through a decent chunk of the game and I realized that it's unfinished. It doesn't end properly. There's no Act 3. I mean, it's really cool, but why am I still here? Is it just to suffer? Maybe Kaz was right.
That was the true meta of the game all along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the true meta is disarming all nuclear weapons so you can get a special message. But yeah, no, I'm trying to remember. somebody made that joke about something the other day about another game, and it was like, Metal Gear Solid fans are like, hey, at least your game did end. What's it like having a complete game with a final boss and stuff? I'm still wondering. Like I said, in our great quest to come up with more stream content, I'm sure we will do a great Metal Gear retrospective someday. Maybe we can unpack 5, and maybe they'll have done something. Who knows? Everybody's talking about Konami. Though apparently that Getsu Fuma game that they just released came out okay. I do though want to protest some of those articles were like, this is their first proper video game release in forever. Hey guys, no, that's not true. Master Duel just came out, and that required a lot of coding work. That's Yu-Gi-Oh. That's very complicated. Sometimes real humans can't figure out how that game works.
There's a lot of cards.
Yeah, I believe the card pool is like 6,500. Including, for no reason other than nostalgia, some dumbass old cards that are bad but create weird things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm sure it was quite a struggle to code all of those little interactions and all that other weird shit, in addition to all the actual work they did. I don't want to call it not a real video game. Whoever did the composing and the soundtrack on that game just fucking killed it for no reason other than just to do that.
I haven't heard much of it, but the stuff I have heard, I'm like, man, this game got really fucking intense all of a sudden.
Yeah, so to do a brief aside, because I don't care about faffing, because we're almost at the 1 hour and 34 minutes mark, basically every time you get in a duel, it picks from one of, I think there's 8 themes in the game, and they're dynamic. So they have the base level, when everything's normal. They have what's called the key card, when one or both players has played an important card in their deck, like activating an important spell card or summoning a signature monster. And then they have climax, which is when one of the players' life points is low. So, the music will dynamically ramp up to, normal, intense, intenser, when the choir suddenly jumps in and the piano goes crazy. So, yeah, it's pretty rad. But, yeah, no, I'm just busy with stuff. I don't need to worry about gacha. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got my NP2 Aresh randomly, so I'm good. I'm fine. You get some last couple embers to round out Sei's levels, I guess. But other than that, we're chipping. Probably need to work on my interlude for Asclepius I worked so hard to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll talk about all that. Okay. I believe that's all the mailbagging in.
That is all the mailbagging in.
I will close that tab. I would really like to regale you in Free Talk with all the, Valentines I hadn't done yet that I thought were cool. Just assume my opinion is all the new ones were cool. It was fine. They were great. Because I had to spend 2 different days, several hours at a time, chugging chocolates to scratch everybody off my list. So, it's kind of a blur, still. But they were alright. I don't think anybody had, a bad scene or anything. It was fine. Thumbs up.
Yay.
And we have actually crossed, at least like I said in Raw time, 1 hour and 34 minutes. So, you have no excuses. You could have totally watched Solomon in this time. No, I'm kidding. But we're going to talk about Solomon, and that'll probably be the bulk of our show. I guess we'll probably start with, a high-level overview before we do anything too spoilery, so people can get, our initial thoughts on it, and maybe if they're, on the fence or anything, they can, use our opinions to inform their ideas, and then we can probably dive into, full-blown, because, having watched the whole thing, and, there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. I'm actually quite surprised they managed to get it all into about an hour and a half, cleanly.
I don't think it was necessarily cleanly.
Well, the actual beats of the Time Temple, right?
Right.
There were parts where I was looking, I'm like, oh man, we got 30 minutes of this left. But I said this earlier, I don't think it's a perfect adaptation. There are certainly some things that they downplay, and I don't know if this is a spoiler, but I personally assume it's because they didn't want to pay 50 different voice actors to be in this movie that's only an hour and a half.
No, it'd have been probably been a bit too much.
Yeah. Because visually, there are in fact a lot of cameos.
I kind of think there's too many cameos, personally. I know it's kind of weird, but
they do some interesting things. Yeah, they handle a couple of the fight interactions in some really, like I said, interesting ways. Obviously, there's really good choreo. It's Cloverworks again, so they worked on Babylonia, and hey, guess what? When they have this perfect exact time frame to work in, their choreo and their animation is very fluid, very high level at a lot of areas. There's some...
I will say it's high in some areas, but there is definitely some areas where it kind of felt skimped on. And it's when you
I think there were a couple areas that got a little rougher.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, there's some very good scenes in here. Like, the Skahawk scene, like, where she's basically running around doing shit. That shit was intense.
Yeah.
It was very, very good. But fucking, like, for instance, the scene with the Master and the King of Humans, they're about to fucking throw their fists at each other. The opening scene for that was actually done very weirdly.
Yeah,
like,
I was actually thinking that, I think, when I watched it. Now they do, like I said, they actually do a really good job of, like, communicating all the phases that beating Gotia did, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's broken up into several scenes with all the exposition in between. But yeah, a couple of the beats in that are, like, a little weird. It's almost like, I feel kind of like they went too ham on the first thing with Gatia, and then for the second one, I was like, are we just skipping that part? Oh, no, okay, it came back.
Yeah, like...
The pacing got a little weird.
The animation was a little weird, some of the setting. Like...
Part of that might just be because the King of Humans, Gatia, has a really weird model.
Like...
I don't think he was meant to translate to motion.
Well, I think it was fairly fine. Like, the fight overall, I mean, they did the classic, two dudes punching each other.
Yeah.
But also, I've seen Heaven's Feel 3, and I saw fucking, a Japanese high schooler boy and a shitty priest duke it out with unlimited blood works done by UFO Table.
Yeah,
so
no,
I might be a little biased there.
It's not like an UFO Table production where literally everything is perfect. There are some rough edges in the animation. They had to do a lot of actioning.
And see, that's the thing.
I'm wondering if maybe... I just want to say, I'm wondering if maybe it was a production pacing, because what was the turnaround time? Because they announced it right when Babylonia ended.
Yeah, I think it was like a year.
Yeah, I'm wondering if because they just rolled off a 2-core anime. I'm wondering if they gave themselves enough time. Like, I'm sure that on, like, the Blu-ray and stuff, a lot of this will probably be smoothed over.
Personally, I don't know if they did, because Cloverworks has actually been doing a lot of production in the last year. Like, a lot. Like, fuck. I think, like, in just this core alone, Cloverworks has their hand in, like, several animes. Like, I know I think they're the main on, My Dress Up Darling, and I think they're...
Yeah, that's true,
and a couple others.
They were A1, which was a pretty big studio, and then they, like, rejoined. Yeah, 3 or 4. Okay. So, yeah, like, I don't want to say the movie is bad. I think there are a couple rough patches, and it does kind of sound like that's because the actual studio doing the work is, like, so freaking busy. Like, they're killing it doing the work, and that means that some stuff... Basically, everything in life, when it comes to production, is a factor on an axis of talent, time, and money. And if you can apply all 3 of those, you get a really high quality product. But if you let any of those slip, it doesn't matter how much you have of the other shit. You can literally have unlimited money. You can't pay time to move slower, right? Like,
right.
And you can't pay people to be better at something. So, and if
again,
you have
like this...
crappy talent, and it doesn't matter how much money and time you have.
Well, no, Ring Rabbit, I think like you said, the thing with the fist fight wasn't the fist fight itself; it was the opening to the fist fight.
Yeah, like there. Let's see. Should we do any other high level breakdowns? I'm wondering. Or we could go like reverse beat by beat. It's like overall very good. I got emotional at all the moments you get emotional at. Not just the big one, but like all the times. Like
again, I feel like some things were unnecessary though. Like the vehicle, I don't understand why the vehicle was there. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm a little. I mean, I thought it was cool. I think they got rid of it a little too fast.
Yeah, they did. You literally saw it on screen for like 3 minutes, and they get knocked off of it. And it's like, oh, there it goes.
As opposed to the other item, right? Like
the Mystic Code.
The Mystic Code, I think, was handled very well. That's what I was gonna say.
No, I think it was very good, and I think it had an interesting feature. But
yeah, Da Vinci sets it up. She explains it. She talks about all this stuff. You see the first couple of things used, and then, you get to see, like, the full breadth of it when we get to the climax.
Yeah. Like I said, like, the Master uses it to go, further beyond, which was very cool.
Shout out to Nobunaga, by the way. Killing it.
Oh, yeah. But the thing about the Mystic Code is it's supposed to, basically let the Master, basically damage his nervous system by converting it to magic circuits so he can perform.
Those of you who did call that out, like, I think when the screenshots came out, somebody was like, is this like pseudo nerve thing? And I'm like, I don't know. But it did turn out to actually be that way. So that's one of those fun Fate things when they can actually, like, use lore from other series to talk about something else. The other big thing was, and I was quite surprised when they did the setup, but it made sense, was it allowed the Master to do summoning temporarily without a ley line. to kind of explain how you can use your servants in battles in Time Temple, which was really good and neat, and let them do some other interesting things.
Mm-hmm. But this is where I think one of the big problems is because they can just summon servants, they just started summoning servants that will do basically one thing and then vanish.
So they do preface it by saying it's temporary.
The what?
I got a little break. Sorry, you broke up a little bit there. I was saying, they do mention that the summoning is temporary. How does Da Vinci phrase it? I think she says it's only for an instant.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to them, like they do like in like the final confrontation, basically when like the chips are down, and you're going further beyond. Basically, you summon the master summons basically these the 7 heroes of the singularity. So you basically get Nero, like John already showed up, but
no. So
Nero.
He doesn't call those guys. Those are the. That's another weird pacing thing. The servants who show up at Gatia are the ones who showed, because we do the speech. John does the speech. She shows up. We should probably break this down in a little bit more logical fashion.
I'm honestly might just be misremembering the fucking order, because a lot happens. Happens.
It is because they made it like an hour and a half. It is very dense. Like all the plot beats, like I talked about, are hit. Some of the sequences are not necessarily rolled out as much as they could be. Yeah, it's supposed to be fast paced. I will say, I love the intro. Like the actual like credit rolling open, the cold open.
That was good.
They do a lot of what you need to do, especially because the general anime going audience won't have quite the level of investment in characters like Romani and like Gatia, or Solomon as he appears. So like they do this whole slow buildup of like showing what Solomon's life was like and talking about Gatia and everything, and like introducing him and all that setup, and then we get into the actual meat of things. We're gonna go to the Time Temple, do all the stuff. Mash is gonna die. Oh no, here's your Mystic Code. I do appreciate that they follow up on Babylonia and they like keep introing all the characters in like the command staff, right? Making them feel like they're part of it too, because they were there the whole time. We definitely didn't only remember to add them for Cosmos and the Lost Belt. They do their version of Mash's dream with Gatia, which is slightly different in the presentation, but I think gets the point across. And I think like that's like the first like 20 minutes is all like set up an expo, and then it's just Time Temple. And so we get the cart thing. Da Vinci gets you a space rover. It makes sense, but then we immediately blow it up. It was weird. I guess it was just so they could work out an early action scene. There's a lot of fucking demon pillars in this. They do the homing beams thing, which I love. That's another thing, by the way, I think they did do very well was, while the CG is very obvious, I don't think it hurts the demon pillars, because, of course...
No, I mean, the demon pillars are very large.
Yeah.
And they're very wiggly.
And they look like their models are different in Core FGO anyway, right? Like, they look slightly different. But, yeah, the way they, like, translated how their attacks look to the anime was very good. Thumbs up. Like, a lot of the beams and shockwaves and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah. I do like that they leaned heavily on Lev. Like, Lev comes out and gives the whole expo and blah, 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 after he blows up our car. Why did we have that car?
I don't know.
Like, it was a cool note. I thought, oh, this is neat. This is a good excuse because we have to travel a long way. And then it just blew it up. And I'm like, okay, I guess we gotta hike the rest. So we get, like, our opening expo, and we get our first fight scene. I like this setup, right? Because he starts summoning servants. And they use it to kind of cameo some characters who don't get as much action. Also Alexander, because, I mean, Maya Sakamoto's already here. Seriously, like, I think a lot of choices about this movie are made because of the, like, limitations to what actors they had handy. Because, as we said, there are a lot of cameos, and a lot of them are non-speaking cameos.
Yeah, Kyo shows up, but she's non-speaking.
Yeah, Kyo doesn't get any action shots, no. So we summon Alexander the Third. That's pretty cool to actually see, like, Alex get in there. Also, Sanson gets summoned. Sanson does things. That was kind of different. And also, Extra Vlad, which was also weird.
Again,
that one I don't even know. Was Extra Vlad in a core story? I thought it was regular Vlad. I guess he was Berserk Lancer in Orleans, so...
Again, it's weird.
Yeah. No, and how into... Like, there's a couple of interesting choices. Like I said, I don't know if they did that because he was supposed to be a Lancer there. I mean, I thought it was cool, him doing his version of Kazukiribe, but... Yeah, so there's our first fight scene. And Da Vinci warned him, you got 7. You can do it 7 times. And I'm like, oh, he's used 3 right away. Well, I can see where this is going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And then Lev comes back and he explains the whole thing. Dude, there's 72 of us. We're all the same dude. We're immortal. And then he lists off all
we are
the towers.
Legion.
I mean, I had a little chuckle when they talked about, Signal Tower Barbatos. I'm like, hey.
Everyone did.
And then it didn't go anywhere. That I was a little sad about. We didn't manage to work in any Barbatos memes. But basically, like, he does the whole setup, the speech, we encounter this pre-raid, right? It's the raid setup. Right. Oh shit, there's so many demon pillars that keep coming back. What will we do? And then, all the lights in heaven are our friends. John comes down and drops the speech, and everybody starts showing up. And that's just like, literally everybody shows up. Hey, were you a character in a singularity? You're here. And they're talking about, like, little weirdness. Like, I don't know if it was just the subs, but I think this was true to the original Japanese dialogue. In a later moment, Mash says that, like, look, it's all the people we bonded with along the way. But it was a plot point in the actual singularity we played that it also included the guys we fought against, too.
Yeah.
Who were visible there. Like, you saw all the different knights. Like, there's a power shot of Gawain. I'm glad they did a glamour shot for Kentucky, right? I don't remember if there was a Tomo glamour shot, but also Tomo literally did nothing in London. Yeah, no, like the build up, Jean doing her speech and like all the stars shooting down, like that's really cool. I guess, Lucky, I kind of agree with you. I don't know if we needed the shots where it was like, and you remember all these servants, right? Because like story wise, it isn't actually relevant, right?
Like, I definitely think they should have brought some servants, but I think they should have basically made it a more core staff. Basically, the 7 heroes of the singularity and whatnot.
Yeah, and I know they did a couple of cool things with some of the with Melting Furnace and Nibarius. That was correlated with Septum. So like Nero was obviously there, but also Romulus was there and got to like do his thing. He got an actual glamour shot, but there was a shitload of characters in Septum. They didn't get to do anything. Mm-hmm. There were shots of Liz and Carmilla flying around, no dialogue or nothing. Rumiokobo was busy that day. So it's a lot of fan service and it's really cool, but like it's mostly just padding. Like I said, the Summoning 3 sequence, that was pretty cool. The soundtrack for this is really good. They do a remix of the theme from the Babylonian anime, the main theme. They include a couple of soundtrack beats from the actual FGO soundtrack. I feel like they kind of could have gone a little more ham on the FGO core soundtrack. The sound design is still pretty good. But yeah, like Jean does the speech, he does the Luminos Eternal. Giles is there, but he just nods at it's there's a lot of padding. There's a lot of padding in this middle section. Like, the Master's not doing anything for, like, the next 10, 15 minutes. We just jump on the back of the Bucephalus, and, like, run through all the zones while we have all these cool action scenes. Yeah, I think that's a good way. Region Raptor in chat says, the biggest problem is they want to get across how large the scale was. Because, like, that is the thing. Lev taunts us. It's like, you have an army, nerds. You can't possibly have anything. And then we get an army... And like I said, they show off these little scenes for some of these servants, but it's so rapid fire, and it doesn't do anything, right?
Right.
There's just, like, these cool moments, and then it moves on. So, like, yeah, it's good to, like, reinforce all the elements, right? Like, remind us of all the places we've been. But it's not very impactful, so it just kind of moves past. And then we get to, the throne while everybody's fighting. So this is where we have our second, like, summoning sequence. Master burns through another 3 here. It was, who was it? Who was the first one, I should say? Because it was Orion was number 2, and Altera was number 3, which was the first servant he summoned.
I literally can't remember. I know I watched it, but I was also still at work.
Oh, yeah, I feel so bad. I'm so glad they gave Geronimo a cameo, right? Like, he came out,
That's so weird!
Like, I love the extra effort, but also he should have just been part of the setup. He was a protagonist in America. I feel like they did it just because of the Geronimo memes, right? Which, like, I appreciate, but also not very helpful. Gaetia just no-sold that Sunfire thing. But, the inclusion of Artemis and then, Altera out of nowhere, using the wrong noble phantasm. That was Shooting Star Photon Ray. No, it was Teardrop Photon Ray, her Extella NP. But, like, it was still cool, and then he's just like, nah, bruh. He turns into Gaetia, that's really sick. And then we have our first Gatia fight. And this is the thing you were talking about, where Master doesn't summon these servants. This is just, I think it was it one person from every singularity? I think it was. One representative of every singularity showed up to dab on Gatia, which was cool. Like, this was actually choreographed really well. We got to see some action not only from servants. We have seen, Enkidu shows up, but also, Mordred shows up, but also, like, Nightingale got in there. I'm pretty sure she had a JoJo punch rush with Gatia. It was just mostly off screen. Drake does a lot, has a lot of speaking lines. That's cool. So, like, this is a really neat sequence. No, other than Dante's, they skipped the event servant thing. I assume because that would have probably been very weird for the anime continuity. It's a little sad. They probably should have given this. I know it would have just been more action scenes, and the poor animators probably would have died. But they probably should have given this movie another half hour. And, like, actually had all the Demon Pillar, like, sequences be, like, include some of the dialogue, for instance, because there's actual, like, character building in there and stuff, and all those things. I do kind of feel like this fight was a wasted opportunity because, like, nobody does their Noble Phantasms. Like, Nightingale gets up in there and just punches him, and it's like, okay, maybe you do your thing. The thing that stops him? No? Okay. I mean, I guess Drake's under Golden Hind, but, that said, I love how they get out of this. They show Gatia's Nega Summon in a really interesting way, right?
Right.
Like, lore-wise, Gatia's always had that ability. He's supposed to cancel out servants from proper human history and stuff. But in the game, it was just he had that passive bonus where he was like, yeah, Bedivere does his and, like, tries to slam him in the back, but he doesn't say the line. Probably because his voice actor doesn't say it. Well, no, I think he shouts. It's really weird. The acting thing is, now that I'm thinking in retrospect, the acting thing is starting to bother me. Like, so few servants get lines. Mordred gets a couple of one-liners. I appreciate that. But also, that's probably why Nightingale gets some lines, because that's the same actress. Pretty sure.
It's probably literally who they could schedule in the recording session.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like, I know they probably wanted to, like, strike while the iron was hot and stuff, especially with, like, COVID coming around while they were in dev for this. They probably should have taken the extra time and delayed it to make sure they could get all their actors in and, like, pace everything a little bit better. But yeah, Gatia just does Nega Summon and just yeets, Jean, Mordred, Nightingale, all thems, and you're like, oh shit. Then he does the thing. The animation on Arl's Amundel Salmonis is like fucking wild.
No,
like,
this scene I have no complaint about.
Yeah,
no complaints about.
This was a faithful adaptation. I love how for the actual effect they don't do any bed music. It's just sound effects and visuals, right? And voice lines. We do the whole speech, all the stuff happens, and then Master gets 100% mad. Not 200% yet, 100%.
I do want to shout out that Gatia was the one that explained what happened to MASH.
Yeah, I always assume that's how it was, but they do a great job of using Gatia's VA as exposition, man. Yeah. Like, they set it up in the cold open, it happens here, it happens at the end with the King of Man fight. Like, it's a good effect, right? Because we associate that voice with Gatia, so it works out pretty good. By the way, also, I missed it, I forgot to talk about it. There was a cute little, like, Epic of Remnant nod here. We actually got a Bile cameo. I believe that was the guy in Shinjuku, if I'm not mistaken, who says he should just fire the beam and murder us right away. Makes me wonder if they're going to do some Epic of Remnant adaptation next. Because they at least throw out the, like, reference, which was totally not in the original. Like, those guys did technically come out of nowhere. If only so I can get more Moriarty lines, right?
Right.
But yeah, so, I love Gatia, this fucking beast of pity guy, though. He's like, I see, you're angry. I shall allow you to punch me once before I destroy you. But no, then Dr. Robyn shows up, and it's time for cry time again. Time to floor.
Mm-hmm.
Again, beautifully handled and acted scene. It does all the beats. I love how they translate the cutscene they had in the game, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Gatia does the punch rush, and just Solomon's just like, nah, I'm just gonna do my little speech. They even go so far as to, show Gatia getting one in, but it's too late. Ars Nova.
I think my only complaint about it is, well, I think the build-up to it was very, very dramatic. I feel like the end result of it was just kind of...
Yeah, it was
flat.
A little... I felt like there should have been a little more flash. Like, I get that's kind of the point, but it was just the rings fly off in all directions. A couple of them shove Gatia back, and then Dr. Salroman is just like, all right, my work here is done.
My planet needs me.
Thanks for everything, Fujimaru. You were a good master. Like, they just crushing your heartstrings a little. And
A
he's
little.
like, bye. And then, Gatia starts to falter, and that's when the master becomes 200% mad. And it's good. He unlocks all limiters. He goes even further beyond. He uses his last summon to get Dantes, because of course he does. I don't think... I'm sure it's because they didn't want to confuse the audience, because, like, Dantes showing up, obviously, it's a funny joke, because VA. It's the same VA as Master. I feel like they didn't give him any lines, because that would probably have been confusing to the audience.
I don't know. I always felt a little weird. I felt a little weird about this scene. Like, honestly,
It's
I think I would have...
really cool, right? Like, the animation is really neat. They play the main theme remix again.
Yeah.
You get to see servants you don't normally get to see doing stuff, like you mentioned this before, like the big Skahak thing. Like, she fires her Noble Phantasm again without saying the name. I don't know, maybe that's just the thing that's bothering me, is because of the lack of voice lines. Like, nobody says the cool names. That's the thing, though. You gotta say the name.
Yeah, and, like, to me, like, I think me, personally, I would have preferred that whole scene without all the servants getting involved.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those things of adaptation, right? Because, like, in the game, when we play the Solomon chapter, we do actually have a fight with regular Asgatia after Dr. Robyn does his thing, right? As he slowly depowers himself. So this is what this action sequence was clearly modeling that, right?
Right.
And I think parts of it were cool. I think it goes on a little bit too long. Like, David helps us out, like, twice with things I don't understand to make us fly, I guess. He doesn't even shoot his Noble Phantasm, like, at the guys. It just, we fly now. Gilgamesh stands there and is smug. That's on brand. He's there literally so that after we punch Gatia with the shield, he can deliver his line about the beasts.
And, like, that's the thing, like the Master has, picked up Mash's shield, like everyone thought he was, and he's going to literally punch this dude's face in with it. And I'm like, I honestly felt like all the servants getting in the way of that, because what the fuck was Gatia gonna do? Was he gonna run the fuck away?
No, I mean, he summoned all his demon pillars back, so there was a little bit there. But yeah, it's just... Also,
like,
again, we missed the interlude of all the demon pillars breaking down and freaking out. I think that could have used that.
And again, this is the thing. I think I just so they can get all their fan service in. Of various
the action is really cool, but a lot of it's pointless. Like, why did Dantes show up? It's a cool cameo, but he doesn't do anything. He's that tuxedo mask meme.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody do that edit, yeah. There was Ketz fucking suplexes Gatia in a demon pillar, and I'm like, why, yes, that is what I did, and that, she does the little lick her lips, that's cool, but, like, it's not required. I guess if you take the fact that we're in the continuity of Babylonia, the anime, it makes sense. Like, they had giant Gorgons show up and shoot some lasers, and I'm like, oh, well, that's a fun, like, animation nod, right? Because they actually used a big Gorgon. But then little Anna appears over her shoulder for no reason. It's just, there's a lot of disconnected cameos and fan service. If you're a fan, you will probably like it, right? Because it'll do those things, but, like, as an actual, like, standalone product, it's a little rough. The adaptation's a little rough. The pacing is weird. But we do another big servant blitz. We play the music, whatever. We punch him right in the guts with the shield, and then we have the flashback about, like, not remembering, making sure we don't do it to destroy our enemies. We're here to, like, live. And then Gatia's like, "Aha, you're dumb. This is dumb. I'm sad now." Bleh. And then she, everybody goes home, shit starts to fall apart, the pillars all turn off, that's a pretty cool sequence. We get even more cameos! And then, like I said, the last bit is like, it's okay. He kind of leads in, he walks for a little bit, he's trying to make it back, and then just, at first I was like, oh man, are we just gonna skip the King of Humans fight? No, we got there. They bamboozled me a little. The setup and pacing to this last action sequence is good. Asterios shows up and he tanks a blow, and that's neat. Like, it's all cool stuff, but it's a little
weird. Now, the thing about the fight is, like, they do the lines right and stuff, but the thing that kills me the most about the animation is actually in some of the character posing. Like, fucking, when they walk up to each other, like, this is where one of the parts where I'm talking about the animation gets rough.
Yeah. They
walk up, they stand each other, and they just throw a punch from a neutral position.
Yeah, they do the classic walk up and lean forward, but it's slow because Gatia is melting, and the Master has exploded all of his nerves and bones.
Yeah.
And And now that you're talking about like some of the posing, I also think that like some of the wide shot animation when they're like trading blows, it's a little like loosey goosey, rough. Like maybe it was traced but not very tightly traced. You know?
Yeah, like it's not like I said, like the actual fight itself isn't that bad, but that opening part just it's
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
thought
have
the framing
nightmares
was a
about
little
it.
weird. I thought it was gonna end in a headbutt, and then their fists come in, and we're like, oh, I guess we're punching, and then we.
Yeah, I'm just like
Fade to white.
it's like
It's a really good sequence, and I will admit, I don't know how they could have done. Like, you can't do the concept any different. You know, King of Mangatia shows up and is like, "So I'm dying, and I have my pride. So I really want to punch you."
oh
so
no,
I'm gonna
like
punch you.
again, this is what I gotta say. You like I'm spoiled by the Heavens 3 fight between Emiya and Kotomi. Let me see if I can just at least find the fucking, because they did the best thing is they literally did the fucking their first fucking scene, because they did the same thing, you know, stand each other. But the first actual scene of the fight was them both doing the fucking step in and then going into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess probably the idea here is that it's supposed to be a little jank because these two dudes are just at their end, right? Like,
yeah,
nobody has any fucking gas left. It's just trading punches. Katia fucking grabs the master by like the scruff and headbutts him, right? Like, I like that they play up the viciousness and the down to earth. Like, I think overall it's a good one, but just some of the way they handle it was a little rough. It's like the animators were like doing super fights for, you know, an hour and 20 minutes, and they're like, shit, we just need to draw two dudes punching each other. What do we do? They lean in and punch. It's like, the concept is very good, and I like that they committed to the bit of doing it as a no-frills fight. It's a little rough. And then, you know, it ends with, like, the master takes a knee because he's fucking, all of his bones, all of his stuff is exploding. And Gatia goes to punch him in the face again, and then his arm melts, and he's just like, well, too short. Sucks. Bye! So, I got another one I want to talk about. This is another thing that, because of the pacing, I thought was weird. We skip Mash's revival in, like, the other world. That's the credits, right? Like, the credits... Right. The credits has Foe's dialogue. There's a sequence of expositing it later, like when Mash is back later and we get back to Chaldea, she sees Foe, who makes just, like, a sound, by the way. It doesn't say, like, Foe. Interesting way to play that, right? She gets, like, a flash of Beast 4 Foe, but I guess, again, pacing. Like, it's just, like, a sudden shock, like, you know, the bridge collapse, Master's gonna die, and Mash is just like, grab my hand! Yoink! And then we get on out of there, everybody's good. I did like the extra sequences where they talked about, like, you know, Chaldea physically being present and attacking, and then people were like, if all those fails, we'll abandon the command room, and then, you know, I forgot her name, because she's never in, and it's always Munier, but she's in the anime a lot, but the lady operator is like, but then Fujiwara can't get home. And then Da Vinci's like, you're right, we must stay here to the last. It's a terrible shame I don't have any servant powers as a servant. Does Da Vinci get any action in the Camelot movies?
Nope, she jobs out pretty quick.
Damn. Well, No, I mean, she's got a giant punch glove. You could do stuff with that.
I think she gets to use it a little bit, but no, she jobs out like a third into the movie.
She's got fucking flamethrower hands. Come on, guys. And ice thrower hands. But yeah, so, like, I love those extra bits. They do the thing we talked about, right? Where they talk about, we've mentioned this before, the thing where they talk about, blowing up the research wing so they can detach.
Mm.
Like good references. The shots of, like, Chaldea floating in space are really neat. That effect when Roman announces that they're there and, like, the mountains, like, bzzzt out of reality, like, that was really cool. There's a lot of really good, like, background work, in addition to some of the action being really good. And then, you know, they do the final dialogue. We're back, everything's solved, happy, arms in a sling, we do all the things. Da Vinci talks about, you know, all the people we lost, the masters in coffins, and it's like, I think it does a good job of, like, communicating that sense of accomplishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I mean, it's very easy to do this all in movie because the player base, which is huge. What was the last downloads event in Japan? I don't even know. Like, you have a huge player base who's been through this experience. And, like, I was thinking about this earlier. Like, FGO is the story of these characters, right? You know, you've got, you know, MASH has her own character arcs. Obviously, Da Vinci and Roman have their own things going on. And then, but also, like, and in the anime, they've done their own thing to make Fujiwara feel separate, right? Like, he has his own character elements and whatnot. It appears to be in still mode. I wonder if it's loading.
God damn it.
GIFs are weird. 24 million was the last download. So yeah, it's big boy downloads. So like, I think they've done a good job characterizing the master, right? Like, there's that conversation.
Okay, fine.
Still.
Hang on.
It's gonna be like that, I guess. Like, there's that conversation when he gets the Mystic Code with Da Vinci, where Da Vinci, he mentions the Mystic Code is different, and Da Vinci is like, yes, up until now, we have prioritized your survival, but since this is the last mission, you must be prepared to go all out, but also don't be too hard on yourself. And Fujiwara is like, no, everybody else always gives their all, so I'm gonna give it my 100%. It's the least I can do, kind of a thing. There you go. Yeah, they do a proper cross-counter. This is definitely, I think, well, actually, I don't know. How many movies does Cloverworks do, by the way, guys? Like, I wonder if it's just a difference in ethos. Because, like, with Heaven's Feel, UFO Table is committed to, we're going to do multiple movies on this. We're going to go through the whole thing. Also great esoteric background. Oh, I need that GIF. I need you to loop back. I need to see that. Yeah, I like that kick shot. Yeah, they've only done, like, 5? Maybe it's just they don't have the experience with the movie pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Movie production and TV production are very different, even if you're doing the same medium. So, like I said, there's some rough pacing around the edges. I think overall, it's pretty good. And like I said, with the emotional payoff is very easy because, like, when you get to the end, they're doing all the congratulations and talking about the journey and stuff. Like, that's us. That's our journey. We did that. Like,
yay!
We know that. We know we had to bust our ass to get through all this stuff. We did all those fights with Gaty in our own time. So it's like the buy-in is really easy, right? Like, we understand these characters' struggles because in our own way, we all lived it. It was our story. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously they don't skimp on the action sequences, but it does seem like maybe could be chalked up to studio and experience. But anyway, there's the meaningful conclusion. We go outside, we have all the scenes, the master holding hands and stuff, the sky shot, all the big things you expect. That's pretty funny. Somebody just posted a fan edit of Unspoken Noble Phantasms. I might watch that later. But they do that. They do this one last dig because Dr. Robyn gets a posthumous thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he does his list out, and then Da Vinci does the finish, and then he does the credits. And I thought this was another weird pacing choice. Like, guys, you absolutely could have put 5 more minutes in this movie and just had the faux scene be there. Did we just not want to? Did we not have Ayako Kawasumi?
Here's the thing. I don't know if they have a voice for faux that is not just faux noises. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, and they would have had to make a casting decision. It's just, I feel like I think it's really cool that they did this, and obviously I think they hit some of the most important story beats really well, right?
Right.
They got the crux of the feeling of the Temple of Time, But I just feel like, I mean, honestly, it was probably always going to be a rough adaptation because, like, when you play Temple of Time, it is this culmination of 7 singularities worth of crap, plus the Event Servants cameo that they didn't even get to because it wouldn't have made any goddamn sense. And in the actual singularity, you have all this extra dialogue, right? Like, the servants show up and are like, "What am I doing here? What's our move? What are we gonna do? We're gonna blast them." Like, we have all these little cameos for all the different raid fights and stuff. And, like, it really, like, feels like the conclusion of, like, we check back in with everybody. It's really cool. We do the big fights. We go home. And it involves a freakishly huge cast of characters because it's, like, 8 stories worth of characters, all of which to mostly have primo voice actors. And it really does kind of feel like when they got to the end of it and they were doing, like, scripting or storyboarding or something, like, Cloverworks is like, shit, there's how many characters in this? How many voices? We have to get how many of the different voices? Fuck. like even the other characters who get action sequences, I wonder if it's because they were thinking about who they might have access to for voice lines, right?
Right.
Like, Mozart gets a little cameo when he drops his NP when he comes in for the second Gatia thing. And that's the same VA as Gilgamesh, so, if they needed him to do a line, they could have gotten to pick up. Gil doesn't have hardly any lines. Like, he shows up just to be smug. He doesn't even do anything. Enkidu gets more action than him, right? Alexander obviously showing up is very easy because Maya Sakamoto already has 2 big roles in this. What's asking her to record another set of lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, like, who was and wasn't available. I do kind of feel like they probably should have, like, taken another year, maybe stretch it out like another 10, 20 minutes, and diversified the action scenes with some dialogue a little bit. Like, actually had the time and money to hire all the actors. I mean, they got the fucking money. The time to get all the actors in and coordinated. Like I said, real good. I appreciated it. It made me feel things at the appropriate moments. Oh, so he gave them the extra little juice at the end. I mean, sure, he does have a cameo there, but it's very subtle. Very subtle if he's helping, if he's doing anything.
Again, I understand, like, you know, people have their theories, but it's one of those things, if it's not actually explained in the movie, can it actually...
Yeah, it's also just, like, it's one thing for there to be like, they put Bile on screen with his design from EOR, right, from Shinjuku, and are like, oh, hey, I get that reference, right? Like, that's tangible. That's like, oh, hey, they actually managed to, you know, put some EOR stuff in here. That's neat. Thumbs up. As opposed to, like, there's hints with the guild thing, but it's not explicit because nobody has any goddamn voice lines. Like, that's I think, is the thing that kills it to me. Is just, like, there's all these characters, and unfortunately, I play FGO guys. I know these characters' voices in and out, you know? Like, I hear them all the time when I do fights, during Valentine's, right? You know, most of these characters are story characters, so you would have seen them in, like, story supports and stuff, right?
Right.
So, like, it feels so weird for them to have so little... like, a lot of the characters don't even do efforts, you know? Like, there's an Ishtar cameo. She shoots some beams. I guess, you know, Kana Ueda wasn't available, or we decided we didn't want to get her in for, like, 5 minutes. So, you know, nothing was said. It's just kind of weird. We clearly didn't... We either could not or did not want to worry about getting, sorry, Hami? I'm fucking mushing my words. Sorry, I'm sleepy, guys. But, like, Ushi has a pretty big cameo that's a callback to the Babylonia anime that's really cool. She's dead silent, and also so are all the other characters. We get at least, like, a shot of, like, Jason and the other guys, but, like, he doesn't have that moment where he says anything. That's okay. They're probably going to animate Olympus. We'll get all the Jason we can ask for. But yeah, it's a weird one, right? Like, I liked it. Memory-wise, I think I had a positive experience with, like, it as a product, in that it emotionally crushed me several times, laid me on the floor. I was trying to think what my scale for this was, Lucky. I don't know what my 0 point is, but my 10 point would be Devilman Crybaby. Like, Devilman Crybaby is my constant reference for, like, what's the maximum floor something has made me feel? It's probably that still. Like, that's just full floor. What's the low point? Like, what's the nega floor level?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen some classic, like, I remember I watched Grave of the Fireflies when I was a kid. That destroyed me. But that is literally a Ghibli film about, you know, the ravages of war and, you know, poor kids.
Yeah, no, like, there's it's not maximum floor level, but it's the appropriate amount of floor level.
Yeah.
A music box is involved, you know? So, like, it hits the story beats I think they had to hit, and honestly, they probably could have gotten this done in, like, a 30-minute OVA if they just hit the story beats. I'm trying to, like, I don't genuinely know what would be better. Like, if they cut out a lot of this movie, would it have been better as a shorter OVA? Or, I think I don't want that. I think I would want the extra, like, 10 or 15 minutes or more of, like, actually fleshing out some of those cameos a little and getting some of these characters to, like, speak and feel like they're really present, as opposed to just, like, okay, for the characters the Master summons, like, those are just brief, right? Like, I can understand why they're not voiced, even though some of them are voiced. You know, like I said, Alexander gets a lot of lines because Maya Sakamoto's right there. She has to be part of the production. She can't not be. So, like, if you want we just jumped straight into spoilers. Sorry about the Gap guy. It's a good production. If you are an FGO fan and you can watch it, you should watch it. It's, you know, an hour and a half out of your life. It'll remind you of some stuff. I think it, like, emotionally, it hits the right beats, right? I think is the best way to put it. It gets across the major lines and the character arcs we want to see. Like, it has the heavy focus on Gatia, on Mash, on Romani, but it also makes the Master feel like he's part of the story as well, which is a good quality, you know? Gives him some great mean lines. Has, Nobunaga already yelled Gatia very loudly on stream? If he has, the next time he's on a stream, he should just do that shout. He's a cool guy. I think he cosplayed in the new Mystic Code last time. So that man's a treat, as always. But, like, action-wise, I think it's not perfect. It's a little rough. There's simultaneously too little action and too much action. You know, like, I don't know, 7 out of 10? 6, 7, something like that. Above the curve, not bad. Not perfect? What do you think, Lucky?
I say I think I'm probably a bit more critical of it of you, but I still liked it.
Yeah.
Like, so me, I'm gonna say probably 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's about where I ended up, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I like it. Oh.
It's hard to describe, isn't it?
It really is. Like, it's like, if, honestly, it'd probably be a lot less, it'd probably be a lot lower if I wasn't a fan of Fate. Like, if I had just maybe watched, like, Babylonia and heard there was another movie, like, oh, let me go check this out. I'd be all like, what the fuck is this? What is happening? Why is no one talking?
Yeah, there's way too many cameos for FGO fans that don't make any sense to anybody.
Yeah. Like some of the animation and some of the I guess I'll just call it the choreo was off, but they had on the other hand, like they swung the complete spectrum of the anime. Like there's some pretty good Sakuga in there. Yeah. But there's sometimes I'm just all like, this was literally like 3 frames and then a whiteout. The fuck?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah, it's I feel like oh gosh, when was the production and release on this? Hold on. Like, it's unfortunate to like hit those points. Let me see if I can see. Original run July 30th, 2021. Yeah. So, I love this note, by the way, on the adaptation differences on the Type Moon wiki. Stheno does not appear. Also, save for Jeanne d'Arc and Nero Claudius, none of the heroic spirits speak with Ritsuka and Mash in the slightest. They also do not converse with one another. Yes, correct. I mean, they did also have a Fuma Kotaro cameo. That's right. He wasn't technically in a core. Oh yeah, that was right. That was one of those things I found weird, where he just shows up and just tries to give KT a stab in the back. I'm just like, what? And Gate's just like, nah, fam. So yeah, it feels like, though, like with the release timing, like when it was announced and it was produced and released was probably just like they were working with the weird, like, COVID restrictions that probably did affect what voice actors they could get in when, right? Like, it's not like you could do a table read of this. And I think, like, they probably should have done the smarter thing and, like, pushed it back a little bit. They should have, and I know they did, I think, actually delay it a little bit, but they probably should have, like, pushed the actual release back a skosh and given them some extra time to maybe record some more lines, polish up some of the scenes and stuff. It doesn't stand on its own. Like, if I didn't know shit about FGO, this would probably be like a 4 or 5, maybe even lower. Because, like, it's cool, I guess, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I liked it. I don't want to feel like I'm dunking on it. You know, it did some parts really, really well and really, really appropriately. But it's just rough around the edges is the idea that just keeps coming back to my mind, right?
Yeah, I can't really go against that.
So there you go. I wanted to have a little more spoiler-free buffer, but I feel like just as we had struggled to describe it, it was hard. It was hard to describe what we thought about it without actually like breaking it down scene by scene, and it could get very confusing. So if you accidentally listened too far and got spoilered, you didn't really get spoilered because you know the plot anyway. So it's mostly just like the cameos and the action scenes that show up, and they're okay. You'll find them on your own. And, it made me sad about Dr. Roman.
I was very sad.
Yeah, big sad. But, yeah, I think that's all we got on that. I mean, like, I talked about this before. I kind of want to hear the, like, original soundtrack. They had some remixes of some of the themes that were cool. Like, they reduxed the main theme from Babylonia twice. But, yeah, in that case, we will move on from Solomon, which is basically moving on from the show.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything really else to say.
All right, well, if you somehow got through all that and haven't watched it yet, you can check it out for yourself. Tell us what you thought in the comments. Do you agree with our ideas? You know, are you okay with things despite they come out? Were you more critical than us? Some people might actually be a little more harsh, you know? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Respectfully. After that, I don't think there is a lot to go on in the show. So it will probably be one of our slightly shorter shows, though I have a couple of, just general future news nonsense to talk about. Like I said, we can probably expect Ian Breeze, the White Day event called the Boys Collection to come out probably after those hunting quests end or thereabouts. So our next show recording will be recorded on the 25th. I will throw in a very brief pregame. It will probably be very minimal because the event it's like Spider's Web. There are some main quests and there are technically some free quests. But I believe it's pretty simple. But, we'll remind everybody about the banners and CEs and stuff. So look forward to that. Other than that, I think we're just waiting on when that stream is from JP. Wherever that stream is, it's been so long, I don't even remember what location they're going to next. But it will have all lady guests, so it will be White Day.
White Day!
So you'll get to see more great CE arts, and we'll see if there's a new servant or not, or if it's just a rerun of stuff. I don't know. Do we have any particular male servants we haven't gotten who need to come back?
We need to come back?
Yeah, like anybody who hasn't. Other than Arjuna Altar, everybody will yell. I mean, Arjuna Altar White Day would be funny. But like, are there any limited males we haven't had a rego in a while?
A rego?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rerun banners, probably a costume. Other than that, if there's no good ideas, it's probably a new guy.
Well, Romulus Queerness has he had a raid up in a while?
No, actually, I don't suppose he has.
Like, let's see here.
Roma White Day. I was in the movie, don't you know? I said Roma.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember banners and whatnot. And...
Yeah, I know it's hard. That's why I always, when I do Wanteds, I look up stuff. Oh shoot! Actually, yeah, I got a raid I wanted for Odysseus. That's gonna be fun. I'll have to find time between all the 50 video games trying to vie for my time to get that out there. So yes, that's on the docket. Now that I've remembered, I have to do that. I'm sure I would have remembered ahead of time, but I remembered just now, so I could tell you. So yeah, well, we will find out about whatever's going on with JP White Day. Until then, I guess we'll just rack our brains. Or not. And yeah, everything's going good, Enjoy your 1,000,000 downloads, enjoy your half AP Embers, enjoy your hunting quests when those roll out. Next week we will be doing Fan Servant Friday. I suppose I should go check on that because the poll has ended. Let's go see where everything shook out. There was a light boinging there as I scratch the surface of everything. So let's pull up that poll. Because we'll probably be doing that next week, because I don't know if I'll have crazy news. Interesting, with 12 votes total. At the very end, Lenonshi Caster slides out with 42%.
Thick.
So yeah, look forward to that next time. I have to decide what my spring theme is. Maybe we will find out more about White Day, and I can have another theme to bring up. Could always do Ides of March and do more Greco-Roman guys again.
What, get Brutus?
Interesting. What would Brutus be? An assassin, I guess. February 27th is the stream. We found it. Yay. Okay, so it won't have happened by next show. But it will happen before the month ends, so maybe you can help me tell it there. Yeah, so, yeah. Hokkaido, okay. Thank you for digging up that stuff. Tyranno in there. Okay, so we won't have the stream yet. FGO might have some other stuff shambling out, though, because it is later. I think all their events end before the 27th, so they'll probably have, like, a hunting quest or something. Yeah, what would the NP be? At 2 Brute? Teleport 27 knives into their back?
Actually, Brutus would probably be something like a 1 or 2 star assassin.
Well, I mean, Caesar's, silver, so.
Yeah.
That could be a fun one to do. I'd have to have the time to design that, though, because it's not in my list already. And I have many things to do. Many things of which we will talk about on What's Up tomorrow if you're listening live. Later today if you're watching this on YouTube right now. Or already happened on YouTube if you're watching this, 4 months from now. If you are watching this for 4 months from now, let me know in a comment. But, yeah, I won't faff about your day too much more. I got stuff to do, y'all. There's Cyberpunk to be punkin'. There's other things to be figuring out. Oh, and also I'm starting to get stiff sitting here because I haven't gotten up in a while. So let's wrap up the show so I can go stretch. Next week's show may be a little lean and mean, so I'll slam together something for you. I highly encourage, if you have talking points you've ever wanted to bring up with this, consider your humble mailbag. I know I don't usually shield a mailbag, but it is, in the past when we got super huge mailbags, it was we got so many mailbags we had to cut them for content. So now while we're in a dearth of content, it's a great time to get your mailbag in and not get cut off. Just saying. Even if you just want to say hi, it's a perfect time to say hi on air. But with that, unless anything non-outro related, Lucky, you can think of that we have forgotten.
No.
Yeah. Video game news, and also probably the Mahoyo movie news will be probably in April. That's when we know that new Type Me magazine is. So we're going to be waiting for that one for a while, y'all.
I'm excited, though.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's just, that's future show problems. Future content. If you think this content's too lean, like I said, watch What's Up, and consider watching our other streams and stuff. We're currently playing Uncharted 4 on our Monday stream slot. So if you want more of this, I'm making a broad circular gesture at myself and the invisible Lucky who is next to me. Check out the streams. They're a great way to get more of us, along with What's Up. So, if you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to give this video a like if you liked it, If you have any comments, such as the many things I've asked you to comment about, leave them in the comments down below. You can also join our Discord. That link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. You too can become Floor. And eventually we'll have an emote for that. You can yell about fighting games or something, though.
There's a lot of yelling about fighting games.
Well, appears like there's a lot of them like being announced and coming out and stuff, so I understand.
Oh, yeah. But like I said, we are in a what's the word I want to say? A quagmire of releases here.
Yeah, we're in the spring crunch. The spring release crunch, technically late winter, but it's I think it's with Forbidden West and Sifu and stuff, it started. There's like a free 5-hour demo of Cyberpunk. You could argue that's basically not as much of a soft relaunch as people were predicting, but it's basically like a relaunch, right?
Right.
So it's we're in it now. You best start believing in video game stories, miss. You're in one. That joke was funnier in my head, but in my defense, they've been doing this for 2.5 hours, and I was already tired. They've been working on the AC unit, which is located right outside my window, so... Power tools at 9 a.m., everybody. But, let's see, that was the Discord call. Join our Discord, it's cool. Other than Discord, you can also sub to the channel. Make sure to subscribe. Get all our content, get streams when they come out, get videos, get that Odysseus one when that rolls out, and probably doesn't get a lot of views because YouTube's weird. YouTube did do a survey, and I did yell at them that they should, let creators know more about, algorithms and other weird stuff that affects our views that we don't know about and have to guess. Please. Let me understand why video that worked 6 months ago no longer works. I doubt it's that people's tastes have actually changed. You obviously did something in the back room that you didn't tell me about. Because if anything, the content's better. The thumbnails are flashier, shinier, sparklier. I'm gonna have to decide where to put my targets on Odysseus. Probably on his little boob window.
Clearly.
So, sub to us if you want more of that. Even if you're already subscribed, make sure to hit that bell for notifications. You always know when we post a new video or when we start a stream up. It's a great way to get a hold of us when we do stuff. Like when Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel released a new solo mode that I wasn't expecting when they did a thing, so I streamed that.
I think that's just how a Master Duel is gonna do. You weren't expecting this? Here you go.
I mean, that's how they launched, so here we are. Just throw they announced an event that was actually starting, and then after that maintenance, they were like, oh yeah, and a whole new solo mode. And I'm just like, damn, dude, okay, well, there goes a couple hours on my Thursday. At least I got it all out of the way, so I'm not expecting them to do that until, next month, but yeah. Sub, bell, it's cool. You can also join our channel memberships. Click that join button, or the link in the description. Get access to membership badges and sick emotes you can use. They're cool. And the more members we get, the cooler we can be, because we can get more emotes. Also, like I said at the front of the show, or wherever technically after editing that Patreon bumper ended up, you can support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month or about $10 a year. You can get access to this in audio format, downloadable, and basically the earliest Let's Talk FGO comes out if you're not listening literally live, which is another thing you can do at a higher level of Patreon support, is the audio version. At other levels, you can get access to video releases early. Like I said, you can listen to us record the show live, get access on our shoutouts, and it does really help us out and funding all this process. Thank you for your support once again, guys, and I guess we'll see you next week for more Let's Take FGO. Make sure to tune into What's Up, or else. Bye now.
Goodbye.